The views shared on this podcast are personal opinions for conversation and insight only. Guest perspectives are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Kalaj Dame or this podcast. Nothing discussed here should be taken as legal, financial, medical, or professional advice. Always do your own research and make decisions based on your individual situation.
So with Remember Music, we were officially the first act to them, but we never signed paperwork or anything.
Oh.
You know what I mean? We were never officially signed to them. And I don't know if Mac just didn't have enough time to work it into where we were officially, signed and paperwork happened. But we were never officially signed, but that's home team, so we didn't want to go, we ain't signing them, you know what I mean? Right, it's like our signals getting crossed with B. White and Mayo in the 58s because that was a natural thing. We did that without the help of Mac. You know what I mean? Mm. All that Pittsburgh Wu-Tang and dropping 2 songs one day, then the next day, and the love we was able to garner from that was our thing. Like 2 publishing deals that came on the table, and then we also had a contract that came from Nas's Mass Appeal label. Mm. That came, and that dropped the ball on that. Going crazy. Mac, on his set, he had a segment where he would play his guitar. He was incredible with instrumentation and stuff. Yeah. He'd play a guitar, dude jumps on stage in front of him, like doesn't do anything to him, just jumps up, gets tackled. We pull up to Lincoln, Nebraska the next day. He's outside the venue getting with a black eye, getting interviewed like he just didn't get pummeled. I'm just like,
what happened? Like, how do we go from touring everywhere? And I know with Mac's passing, that probably had a significant amount to do with it. But like from touring everywhere and being, shoulder to shoulder with these celebrities and big names and managers and CEOs and stuff like that, to not necessarily putting out consistent albums and stuff like that, just kind of like a normal guy right now. Just like remembering the glory days.
Just shine a light where they hide the grave. It's the Kalaj Dame Podcast.
I don't even know how to give a complete formal welcome introduction, just simply because I don't know everything. But just from what I know, literally one of the illest spitters in the southwestern PA area.
Definitely appreciate it.
You're welcome, bro.
Appreciate it.
Not even just that, most highly respected and appreciated and celebrated in a point, just a small segment of the world that respect and appreciation isn't given easily.
Yeah, absolutely.
For as long as I can remember, it's what? 10 years at least, for what, 10 to 15 years, something like that?
As far as us being acquainted, you say? Or
No, for the come up.
Yeah, 15. So yes, we start our first official project was 2011.
Yeah.
So yeah, like about 15. And we had been playing around before that because we from the same area. So
yeah.
I started off rhyming with Vinny Radio and like 2 other of my guys, but the come up was a natural thing because we had already had that work together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, officially 2011. So 15.
15 years. And
crazy, I never thought about that.
and I didn't even realize it. I'm looking online. I'm watching the videos and stuff like that. And when I see it, it just hit me like, wow, like I didn't even know. And yeah. I guess it'll tie more into the story of when I first heard about y'all. But so in addition to that, a lot of people, at least the people that I know, some of them that are not in the hip hop world, probably don't know that you were actually friends with Mac Miller.
Yep.
And signed to his record label, right?
Yep.
And I guess we can get more into that, whatever you open to talk about. But just in general, and let me add to that, just for the sake of conversation, the record label that you were signed to actually had a major deal through Warner Brothers, right?
Yep.
Remember Music.
Remember
Music, right?
Yep.
So just in general, to add to the significance, like when we talk about artists in the city who have actually done it, who have the experience, who have the talent, and like everything, the network, everything to back it up, like you are one of those guys.
Yeah.
Standing on that podium. So welcome to the Kalaj Dame Podcast.
Bro, appreciate you for having me, bro. Like I said, I was thinking about it ever since you sent the drop through. So,
yeah,
bro, appreciate it. Yeah, man, because it's not often that I get asked to do certain things. And
that's great.
Like I said, sometimes I feel like I'm not appreciated, but it's always received well when people do appreciate it. So again, bro, I appreciate you for having me. Appreciate the love at all times.
Definitely, you're welcome. I wanted to add something else into that. I completely forgot about it. But much like me, a babyface guy.
Yep. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah. And you know what? I was looking at videos, and I went all the way back, just like getting like more familiar, I guess, and reminding myself of all your younger stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And looking at you like 10 years ago, like, man, this dude looked like he's like 15 years old.
Oh, man, they used to eat me alive, pause, on the comments, like the early YouTube days, like,
yeah.
Just because the vernacular of what I was giving up and then just how I looked.
Yeah.
A lot of people was like, this dude can't be serious, this dude looks like a kid, just little funny stuff, but I never let that really get to me. But yeah, I definitely remember comments like that and in them earlier video days. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. I definitely get that, especially like for me. A lot of times I be in the corporate world and stuff, going up to somebody that's like, oh, I'm 35 years old, and they trying to be all bossy and stuff. Honey, I'm older than you.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Like, how old are you?
Yeah.
Like 44? Like, oh, shit.
Yeah, no, that's another aspect as well, just because I'll be 40 next year, so yeah, a lot of people don't even think I'm that age, or that old, you know what I mean? So yeah, I definitely get it.
Yeah, you're Sagittarius, right?
Yes, sir.
Fellow fire sign?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm a Leo, so I definitely understand.
Yeah, my son's a Leo.
Yeah. Matter of fact, so I had to research like all your stuff, look up a bunch of stuff for you. You got married the day after my birthday.
August 18th is your birthday?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. It's crazy. It'll be 3 years this year, too.
Yeah?
Yes, August. 3 years, man.
That's dope. I got married a year after you, 2024, September 14th.
Okay. Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations to you, too.
Appreciate it, bro.
I definitely have some questions. I guess we'll dig into that more on the grown man side.
Absolutely.
Because like I be seeing your posts and stuff, and being a married man, I don't know if this is a newlywed thing, but when you have like your queen, like when you feel that energy of like, this is my queen,
yeah,
you can see in other people that kind of have that same feeling, and it's almost like a relation, like, yeah, bro, like.
Oh yeah, man, there's a glow to you when that happens. If you're happy, or if you did it for the right reason too.
Exactly.
That's another conversation, but
So yeah, let's start with I guess my introduction to you.
Yes, sir.
All right. So from what I remember, I don't even remember the first moment we spoke. I feel like maybe I seen you at a show or something like that.
I definitely it could have been somewhere before this, but I definitely feel like the Shadow Lounge era was where we first like touched base.
That sounds familiar.
Like at I can't remember whose show it was or what event it might have been, but I know it was in that time of like us connecting.
Could it have been maybe a Womp battle? Were you at any of those?
I know I was at I don't know if I was at one of them, but I know I was at like, the Rhyme Calisthenics.
Yeah.
Like I was at a bunch of them.
I went to maybe like 2 of those.
Okay. Yeah, I was at a bunch of them. You remember at the time with Shadow Lounge, there was so many things. I was just telling one of the young boys at my job who works there, his dad is like a little older. He was like, my dad knows a bunch of the older local artists. I'm like, did he ever play around in the Shadow Lounge? He was like, yeah, he probably did. I'm like, yeah, man, I used to have like, open mic, poetry nights, salsa nights, reggae night, hip hop nights. So there was a lot of events I caught there. Yeah. Just being a fly on the wall too, not even performing or being involved in anything. You know what I mean? So I met a lot of people just being in that area of that time. You know what I mean?
That was an issue for me back then because, like, I'm from, I guess you could kind of say like the era that was a little bit before when y'all came up.
Yep.
Where we didn't necessarily rock with backpackers that much.
Yeah.
Like, it was a separation. I talked about it a few times on here, but it was like I remember the first time I talked to Justin Strong, the book The Shadow Lounge.
Yep.
And everybody's like, what
Shout
the
out to
hell?
him.
Yeah, shout out Justin. Everybody's like, yo, what the hell we gonna do there? Like, it's backpackers. We don't fit in that crowd. I'm like, I don't know. Like, we gonna have to spin it somehow.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because we felt the exact same way. And it's so funny you said that. I don't know if you remember Image.
Yeah, that's my bro.
Yeah. So I talk to him pretty frequently, you know what I mean? Just kicking hip hop stuff around.
Oh, that's dope.
And he had literally, this is probably 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks tops, but he was like, I can't remember the name of the artist, but he had this stuff with a bunch of cats that we all are connected to somehow, some way. And he had sent me 2 zip files of them, and he was like, yeah, it's crazy you don't know about them. They were in the scene. He was like, they were like that wave right before you guys, and you know, they were still getting love. I'm like, to be honest, I wasn't super familiar with the backpack scene. I was coming from Braddock where everything sounded like New Orleans or Bone Thugs, you know what I mean? Or Super Gutter, you know what I mean? Where I was just trying to get my foot in the door. So if I had to go and stand next to them backpack dudes, I was rapping just as good as them, you know what I mean? Or if it was the street dudes at the same time, I was rapping just as good. I might have not had the same type of bag, you know what I mean? But on that stage, if they had an opportunity, I was like, I don't care who it is. You know, you could be this style of rap. You could be the same style as me. You could be a trap. I'm just standing up here with y'all dudes. So that was the same thing. I wasn't really super familiar with them, and like you said, I kind of didn't feel like we really fit in, even though we was hip hop. But I always tell people like we wasn't backpackers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We wasn't even necessarily, because even some of my homies be like, man, y'all had that boom bap wave, and I was like, we wasn't really pushing a boom bap agenda. I just think y'all didn't hear 808s on our drums and assumed that we was boom bap rappers, but
you know what? I'll go deeper into, I don't know if I share the same perspective as that guy, but I'll go deeper into my perspective because I kind of did like a deep dive into like a comparison for y'all's era of music. It was huge. Like for me as an onlooker, as a fan of hip hop and Pittsburgh hip hop, the wave at that point in time was crazy.
Definitely.
Matter of fact, it'll probably spin from this. So my initial hearing about y'all, it was the Come Up, Varsity Squad, and the 58s.
Yep.
And, you know, individual names, Palermo Stone, Beatty, of course, John Quest.
Chemical was in there too with us. Yeah.
All of these names that from the outside looking in almost seemed like it was in the same network.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the rumors I was hearing was true, but like, and this was before Mac Blue. And all I heard was, oh, these dudes is going on tour everywhere, doing all this stuff. And then wherever I would see like Varsity Squad performing, it'd be like 58s is performing or the Come Up's performing. And it's like, this is like tag team, like they working together or something like that. But the wave, the energy of it was just like this new, not necessarily backpack, but not necessarily like street rap.
Yeah. It's like in the middle.
In the middle, yeah. It's just like taking off. But groups.
Yeah.
Like
duos.
Two-man groups.
Like duos, literally.
Duos. And it was new. It was relatively unheard of. The sound was different.
Yeah.
It kind of had like almost like a New York type feel, like lyrically.
Yeah.
Nothing Southern, so nobody was getting on there, you know, like grunging their voice and yelling all crazy and stuff like that. Like, nah, this was like real lyricism.
Yeah.
What was that experience for you? Like, how did you start? How did that all happen?
So I'm glad you asked that too, because this is gonna clear a lot. Because I've been wanting somebody to ask me this on the cameras for a while, just so, because I know this is like an unknown thing, you know what I mean? But so basically with Vinny and Chemical, I came up rhyming with them because them is like, you know, them is my best friends. Like Chemical was my best man. Vinny, I say all the guys in my wedding were my best men, but you know, you got guys who really don't want to talk. They just I'm gonna be there for you, but da-da-da. So Kimmy, Vinny, those were the guys I came up around with. There was another one of the homies, Orlando. He doesn't mess around anymore, but I started off rhyming with them. Palermo was another guy who was a little younger than us, not by much, maybe like a year and a half, 2 years at most, where he had started off. He was singing at first, but then kind of transitioned because he had came from the background of like doing theater in Woodland Hills and all that. So he was a performer, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So when he had transitioned from singing to rapping, I had ran into him at like one of the local fairs. He had ran down on me, Palermo P.
Yeah.
And was like, yo, I heard you've been working in the studio, man. He's like, I've been working with, he was working with another one of the homies from around the way. And I had heard, I'm like, yeah, they had told me, I'm cooking, you know what I mean? Definitely, I would love to get you in, see what we can do, and put together. Long story short, me and P got in, and this is after, I'm speeding. The group that like Chemical, Vinny, and the homie Lando was in, I was never officially in it. I was like an affiliate. Because at first, like their first year and a half, I was kind of like, I was more so still playing football, still chasing females. So
yeah,
I like, they record and I might be there, I might lay a verse or say some fly stuff on the intro or the outro. And that made me feel like, yeah, I'm a part of it, but I wasn't really a part of it until like a year and a half, 2 years later.
Right.
They ended up splitting, and then that's when I kind of took off or started getting busy. Met P at that time, P Stone. We got in together, and that was probably summer 2006 or. No, I'm sure, man. That was summer of 2007. And at this time, I was putting together my first mixtape, The Perfect Storm, Braddock Spokesman. So that was like me bringing Vinny back in after the group had disbanded. He had not really been rhyming for like a year and some change, but also kind of introducing P. This is when he was tipped to Ill Spit. A lot of people don't know that. So that happened in 2007. Months later, I'm at this club in Tarentum. It was called Galaxy. It was like an old skating ring they had flushed out where you walked up the steps, and where the skating ring was, they had turned it into a venue. Now, this is when Wiz had Say Yeah popping, his Warner deal. S Money had like
I'm the Man.
I'm the Man. It was like right before I'm the Man. But as that's bubbling, Chevy had something, and then there was another cat. He was from up here. I don't know what area he's from, but he ended up moving to Atlanta. He had like a Kanye swag. His name was Nova. Do you remember him?
I remember Nova. Yeah.
He was an incredible performer.
Yeah.
But they used to go out there for like probably like a month or two, like every Saturday, and kill it. So I used to go out there with Vinny, P, and another one of my guys, Rel B. He's a singer. Him and his guy LS. Shout out to them boys. And one day we went out there one weekend. Me, Vinny, and P, the club gets flushed out for some reason, and at this time, Perfect Storm was out, so I'm out there passing joints out, selling what I can. I hear this little voice, this little white dude. Yo, what up? Yo, what up, fam? You franchise? It's Mac. What up, fam? You franchise? I'm like, yeah. I was like, yeah, Easy Mac, I think you got you Ill Spoken with Beatty? He's like, yeah, man. He's like, yo, would you be down to get on the track? He's like, I like your stuff. I'm like, oh, yeah, for sure. And like I said, I had never really listened to them. They had just added me like not long before that, or I had added them. So I had seen it. I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? I'm not thinking much of it, but I'm like, okay, they from the city, cool. I end up bumping into them weeks later, and I'm like, yeah, I seen y'all stuff, you know what I mean? Cool. So I was like, cool. I don't know really what he got to offer or what they sounded like, but I'm like, it's a connection, let's do it. So he's like, yeah, you mind if I get your email, I'll send you a beat, blah, blah, blah. Cool. Sends the beat. I probably went over... They were recording with Soy Sauce at the time.
Okay.
And I went to Soy Sauce's crib probably 2 weeks later. At that time, I had met Mac, but I had met Beatty, Ghosty from the Scholars that day was there. Will Carlson, shout out to Willie Whips, he was like managing us. And then one of their homies, Lip the Kid, who I don't think he was really rapping, but he was helping. But they was building something at that time that was called the Eastern Empire. So when I met them at that studio session, I had dropped my stuff. They was loving it. We go out on the porch, smoke a little something. We talking, chopping it up. I'm playing them stuff. They playing me stuff. We loving it. I'm like, yo, if y'all like this, Y'all gonna love my boy. I'm talking about Vinny.
Yeah.
Played him his stuff. Oh, he's crazy. You think he would get on with us? Oh, of course. I bring him back a week later. Y'all love him. Y'all love this next dude, P Stone.
Wow.
P got in there. Then at some point, I worked Chemical in there as well too. But they were built in Eastern Empire, so we put out like one little compilation project. Willie Whips had put that together. He was a big blog head in that era, and like the forums and all of that.
Yeah.
So he had connections with a lot of people through just chatting and, touching bases with them type of people. So we was able to get some reach and some different collabs with people at the time. But in the same time of that was happening and all of that, the Ill Spoken had disbanded, like BD and Mac. They went their own way, you know what I mean?
Right.
And that kind of, I won't say it took energy out of us, but it kind of was like, damn, it don't really feel the same, you know what I mean? Like, Mac want to do his thing, BD's now like, I'm gonna do my own thing.
Right.
So it's like, all right, cool. The same time, I meet B White and Mayo.
Right.
They're from the port. I know mutual people they knew, but never knew these dudes. They had added me, and at the time, it's funny, on both of their MySpace pages, they would post pictures of each other, so I never knew which one was B White and which one was Mayo.
That's funny.
Because they had different voices too, so I'm like, I know one of these
and
is
B White don't sound nothing like how
he looks. Yeah, yeah, exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Mayo looked more like the B White sounding guy.
Yeah.
From what I first initially heard, and then I'm just like, Mayo's voice was on like not as many of the tracks. So I'm like, I definitely could tell there's two different tones.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So I ended up, messaging them. They liked our stuff. Mayo came through my crib. I was living in Monroeville at the time. He came through. We chopped it up, and for about 9 months to a year, we was like me and Vinny driving out his way, messing with him, just like smoking, listening to music, playing each other's stuff, doing stuff. Mayo had like a 12-track, doing stuff like that. And at the time, like I said, the Eastern Empire had disbanded. Now the Eastern Empire had the Ill Spoken, which was BD and Mac.
Right.
The Come Up, which was me and Vinny.
Right.
And then the Scholars were also a part of that, Vils and Ghosty.
Okay.
So basically what the 58s is, I created the 58s off of my Henny and Hayes mixtape. The Henny and Hayes was a double disc. The Henny and Hayes was 14 milliliters of Henny side, the 14 grams of the Hayes. And like on a track I did on there, I was like, go get your 58s, your fifths of liquor, your eighths of Hayes. And Vinny was like, yo, what's that 58s shit you said? I was like, just something fly just came out. I was just playing, Henny and Hayes. He was like, no, that should be like our brand, a new brand, because at the time, like I said, we had been messing with Mayo and them at the time, and Mayo was like, we should do a project together. Y'all boys is from the dock, we from the port. Ghosty was from the hill, Vils was from the north side, so it's like we had coverage from the city to the valley. You know what I mean? And I played on the east side a lot, you know what I mean? Like, Woodland Hills is like the east side Mon Valley hood, you know what I mean? So it's like, the Ghosty and Vils had City Pool, we had east side and Mon Valley, then Mayo and them had that side of the valley. So it was like, Vinny said that, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna run it by Mayo. And Mayo was like a white Dame Dash. He's like, oh yeah, boy, that's the sickest shit. We gonna do this, da-da-da. Yeah, I'm gonna go get an LLC, I'm gonna do this. So I tell him, and he's like, yeah, everywhere. And like I said, I had got the logo printed up, created the name, created the definition of it and all of that. Mayo took it financially and took it to where it's supposed to be, and where everybody sees it as today. And it's funny because a lot of people look at the 58s as like a McKee sport thing. Right. And they don't know that me and Vinny are the ones who really created it, and I added Mayo and B in it because we were making new music with them, fresh music with them. But I also had Vils and Ghosty, who was already a part of something with us, where I'm like, if y'all ain't got nothing to do, if y'all want to come over here. And I felt like knowing Ghosty and Vils music before I met Mayo and B, I just knew that their sounds
go well together,
would mesh well together. Me and Vinny was kind of like, we was like the odd futuristic dudes in the 58s, if you think about the music that was made. Like, yeah. And I'm not taking nothing away from B, Mayo, Ghosty, or Vils or nothing like that, but they were more so golden era hip hop. If you listen to them, we was more lyricists, but like more futuristic. Like even B would always say like, we gonna depend on Fran and Vinny for the girl tracks. Like, y'all, that's y'all. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, we could rhyme, but it's like, I understood that we brought something a little different to the table, but they also brought their element where we was able to have AZ, Raekwon, and Cormega and dudes like that a part of projects, and it meshed well with the other sounds we had a part of that. So, yeah.
Was it all like one group? So 58s was more than B White and Mayo?
Yeah, the 58, like I said, it was built off of the my Henny and Hayes mixtape, and basically I just added them. So the 58s was another umbrella like the Eastern Empire was, where it was, because Mayo and B White didn't have a group name. They were just Mayo and B White. But they came as two, then the Come Up, and then the Scholars. Yeah. So the 58s was just the umbrella. I tell people it was never a group. But it looked like that too, because once we got on tour, signals got kind of crossed, and we was obviously doing come up stuff on the road and in our pocket. Back home, they're doing the 58s, but then there was affiliates and other people added, like Grizzy Grimes was added, 4 Pound, and I can't even say they was added, but it was like those were the dudes rocking shows with them when we wasn't on stage with them or when we were on the road. You know what I mean? So it looked like it was a group thing, but that's why I always tell people, like, there was like a little bit of friction, like quietly between us, just because we didn't get to sit in front of each other like this and really chop it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like we look at it like we'd be on the road and they'd be like, the 58s is performing in Erie tonight. We'd be like, how are the 58s performing in Erie? We're not there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Vils and Ghosty ain't there. You know what I mean? But it was just a thing. I just, again, like, think signals got crossed. And
so it was always like that? Like, did y'all ever decide, okay, 58s is B White and Mayo, or was it always like how Wu-Tang, like if somebody say Wu-Tang's performing and only the Jizza and Inspector Deck show up type shit?
Yeah, no, it was like that. Like we really didn't have no flack with them for like being like the 58s are performing, because that was the brand. You know what I mean? People bought into that Fifths of Henny, Eighths of Haze, or Fifths of Liquor, Eighths of Weed lifestyle. So,
but like, my bad,
no,
cut you off.
No, you're good.
Like if there was, say, a show, somebody was like, yeah, we got the 58s and the Come Up performing, like that wouldn't be appropriate. Like it would be just the 58s. Got it. That is crazy. I feel like most people in the city probably don't know that. Yeah, no,
a lot of people don't. Sometimes I'll get off like during the weekday and go live, just like smoking, or just instead of talking to myself, I'll get on there. And I had this conversation about a month or so ago, and they was like, "Wow, I forget." It was with somebody we both mutually know, and they was like, "Yo, I did not know that." I'm like, "Yeah," because that 58s and that Come Up wave happened like simultaneously right off of each other. We dropped the 58s project in April of 2011. The Come Up project dropped June of 2011. Yeah. We was touring with Mac as the 58s in February and March of that same year, but then touring with Mac as the Come Up September of that same year. So it all happened like, it was like a domino effect, bro. Like it just happened so fast, bro. And like, another thing, so before I forget this, I know people be like, why didn't they take the whole 58s on tour, not just the Come Up? And that kind of, you gotta understand like the higher ups, the people who are in those positions, why they wouldn't take something as big as that. And not saying that we didn't deserve it, you know what I mean, and we weren't killing.
Probably like money, you gotta pay for everything.
Money wise, you know what I mean? And then if you look at it where there's an umbrella of 3 different groups, so that's six acts. Yeah. Just being realistic, 1 or 2 of them ain't gonna be as on point with stuff. You know, boys might be late, we having to drag boys up, or this boy ain't feeling good, so he ain't, you know what I mean, performing the same way. And I just think, you know, in our performance, people was able to see like, they're ready now, you know what I mean? Yeah. And you know, it might come a thing where they might all be ready in the next 3 months, but them 2 are ready right now.
That's definitely a thing where, I forgot who it was that was talking about the difference between being an artist and a business person, but they think completely different from each other. Where like in business, I mean, first of all, you got to think the more moving parts you have, the more points of failure potentially you have, right? So
absolutely.
if you got, 3 different groups, at any point in time, any one of these people could, you know, like you said, be lazy, tired, sick, frustrated, or whatever. That's money.
Or one disagreement might just, we want to do this song for this because this went, no, we ain't doing that because then it's like there's friction because of something small like that. And then it's like, what happens if we all from our areas and just thinking the way we are, and then something else happens, you know what I mean? And if you ain't paying for it, if you just being asked to be out here, it's like you don't think about that aspect or any of that stuff that falls into that.
I feel like that's probably one of the contributing reasons why there's not as many hip hop groups anymore.
Yeah, I agree too. I definitely see it from that angle.
Fallouts and stuff like Bone, for example, like the issue with Busy Bone, where, you know, he was kind of doing his own thing, but messing up money, showing up drunk, stuff like that. Like, you can't be like that when it's time to make money. And you got another guy that's like, yo, I need to feed my family. I got my wife at home. Like, what is you doing? And then they arguing and fighting this. Yeah.
It's like at that point, you'd be better off just, you know, figuring it out solo dolo, or just, you know what I mean, rebranding and doing something else.
And then that's when everybody mad at you, right?
Absolutely.
Because you went solo, did your thing. So I guess it might be a part of that introduction thing, but like, ultimately, in that 58 story, Mac skyrocketed, like past everybody.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
What was that like watching it? Like, what was that feeling like?
Bro, it was like again, so fast happening, like you really don't, at that point in time, you really didn't have the time to really even think about it, because we just hitting the dartboard, you know what I mean? Moving. And like I said, with Mac, he had started getting some traction just like in the tri-states, like, you know, like DMVs, Philly, New York. His girl at the time was going to Temple, so she was a known person up there, so she was helping him getting a lot of traction in the East Coast, DMV, Ohio, Michigan, and then, you know, doing stuff with Wiz at the same time because of the Rostrum situation.
Right.
And they was kind of like trying to link them together as much as they could, even though secretly they both had their own little, I don't want to say animosity, but just, you know, their own little egotistical bravado with them, with one another, where that's why we don't have more Wiz and Mac music, or, you know, Wiz and Mac moments to look at. But yeah, bro, it was happening so quick. And then even with the 58s, like when we linked that, we leaked 2 songs. One dropped one day, and the next one dropped the next day. And within like 3 days, they was on the blogs like, this is the Pittsburgh Wu-Tang. I'm like, this is crazy. Like,
wow.
Off of 2 songs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was happening so fast, bro.
You mentioned something, the Temple thing and gaining traction.
Yeah.
One of the issues that I hear about and see, like for the life of my career, there was a point where I finally started to understand it, but it appears that not many other people understand it. And matter of fact, I think I read, maybe it was a press release or an interview where you were saying the difference between like being on a label versus being just like a normal independent artist out, you know, on doing your own thing is like that strategy.
Yeah.
How do you gain traction as an independent artist without a label? Like, do you know that recipe?
I really feel like, bro, you gotta put your 10 toes down and like really like risk take. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
so put it like this: Kalaj Dame and Franchise make an album together.
Yeah.
And we finished that album. We got our master. We registered, got all our copyrights and everything. It's uploaded to Spotify and all of that shit, distributed.
Mm-hmm.
We got the artwork and everything.
Yep.
What's our next step?
Promotion is a big thing. Marketing and all of that, like the way you market it. I know now, like you got to put, I mean, there isn't a limit to how many dollars you got to put, but like, as far as like you said, even with the artwork and all of that, you should put some money behind it and put it into a region, into a broad scale of like who you think or who you know would be your fan base. 1, you know what I mean? 2, a thing for me was, like you said, I was always curious. I always wanted to touch base with people. I was always wanted to learn and see more. So like, for instance, like before I ever even toured with Mac or did anything with him, I had traction in the Northwest region, like Seattle or the Washington State area, Oregon. And that was off of, shout out to Beatty. Beatty showed me years ago, this cat from New York. I think he was signed to Murder Inc. His name was Draw Mills. I think he was a Murder Inc. affiliate. But
Sounds familiar.
He had a jam back in the day, and this beat, like, I don't know, just caught my ear, and I'm like, damn, this beat's fire. Like, I need to tap in with somebody like this. So, me being attentive, looking through comments, I find the producer's name through the comments. He had made something for Draw Mills, St. Lodge, you know him? St. Lodge, he was another underground New York dude, but he had a bunch of like underground placements and just random cats that he was messing with. But I seen he didn't have that many followers, so I'm like, let me touch base. And I had told him what I had going on at the time. I was creating Henny and Hayes. I was messing with B. White Mayo, so I had sent him some stuff, and he was like, yeah, we on the same time. From that point, he was like, yeah, I go to Central Washington. I'm in charge of throwing like shows on the campus. It's a pretty good draw. We did our first one last month. It sold out. We're doing one next month. You had the time. You should come out and check it out. Bet.
Wow.
Booked a flight, went out there, and it was super love. Like, they treated me like I was like, a familiar face. You know what I mean?
You performed?
Yeah. Performed. That was in Central Washington, so that was like Ellensburg, Washington. One performance that time. That was in like October of 2010. I went back February of 2011 and took Vinny with me, and we did a mini tour. So we did Ellensburg, same spot again. We did a spot in a spot in Seattle, and then we did a spot in Portland, Oregon. So we did 3 spots over there, and then there was another one. I went back another time with Vinny, and we did it on like an Indian reserve in Yakima. But every time we went over there, it was all love. You know what I'm saying? So just even footwork like that. Vinny's sister, she's married to somebody. They live in Detroit. He was tapped in. He went to Michigan State. He was tapped in with Big Sean and his people, a lot of other pivotal people in Michigan. So when we went out there in Detroit to Michigan, it was always love over there. So, bro, just being a people person and was able to tap in with people, bro, I just always was able to kind of be like a positive, what's the word I wanted to say, opportunist. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not kind of using the opportunity to my advantage, but not like overusing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like I'm starting to hear a common theme amongst people that I interview, where just networking.
Yeah.
Being able to network where you're meeting people that might play a role and be in certain positions or certain states or something like that. Yeah. And that's how you're creating your opportunities. Yeah. Of course, with networking comes like integrity, right? Like, you got to have the talent. You got to have the integrity. You got to have the follow through. Got to be a man of your word, all of that stuff. But yeah, meet the people, create the opportunities, follow through, and then that's how you're setting up like these tours and all of that stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But like you said, though, you do have to have the work. You know what I mean? You can't just talk to people and expect, like, because you make music and this person can touch base with this person that, oh yeah, I got tabs on that, but you don't got the work to back it up. You know what I mean? And I know, like, everything is money too, and that's another aspect of it. But like, bro, if you're determined, you'll find a way.
That part right there.
If you're determined.
It feel like people interpret that as like, I be seeing people tagging, oh, I dropped a new song, and they tag like 50 people on it. Check out my new song. Yeah. And they call that promotion, and that's all they do. Yeah. Or like, Instagram, maybe 50 Cent posts something, you hop on in 50 Cent's comments and put a comment on there, hey, my new album came out, check it out, here's a link. Yeah. And it kind of stops there. Those people, like, I want to be able to speak to those people, like, nah, like, if you want to be like a real artist, you need to put your feet on the ground, get outside and, travel and stuff.
Yeah. I used to take that angle too, like, like, you know, tagging people. But even doing that, there's a great chance that it might not even hit their radar because you're tagging so many people too. And some people will look at it like, damn, you tagged me with 99 other people, bro. I don't even know what this is. So now I'll spend 2-3 hours going through my whole phone book and directly giving it to somebody, you know what I mean? Because it's like, you might have missed it on Facebook, but I texted directly to you. Or if I was next to you, like, yo, I airdrop something to you, you know what I mean? Just having that
I do that same
hand-to-hand
thing.
base.
I used to do the blind, like, tagging, and we talking about, like, when Facebook first started, like, right after MySpace days.
Yeah.
And now what I do, so, like, podcast episode, for example, like, last week I did, not last week, what's today? Sunday. So yesterday I had an episode release where I interviewed a fly fisherman.
Okay.
And I went to everybody that I know that loves fishing and sent it to them directly. So, like, if I don't have their number, I'm messaging on Facebook, or I'm, you know, sending a text. Yo, bro, you know, we go fishing together. I know you love fishing. Check this out.
Yeah.
So, like, for this episode, everybody I know in Pittsburgh hip hop that knows about that time in, like, the 2010s and stuff like that, I'll probably send them this. Yo, check this out. Yeah. Of course, we gotta take a picture and selfie and shit. So everybody gonna be hyped up off of that. For sure. But it's the same concept of curating your audience. I guess your I want to say fan base, but more like the demographic specifically for what you have. So, like, finding out. For me, it's different because I have multi-niche. So it's like, you know, a fly fisherman today, but, you know, a rapper tomorrow, maybe a registered nurse the following day. Yeah. They not all going to like the same type of stuff. So I need to find who like this, you know, and give it to those people.
Yep. Agreed.
Where we at in this storyline? You, was there ever any ill feeling with, like, I don't want to focus on anything negative at all, but I want to understand.
We can get into it. We can get into it because I'm not coming from a malicious place at all. But
I just want to understand to get more into your head, like, who is Terrence Coles in terms of everything that you experience music-wise and the path that you had to travel. Like, how did you make it feel, or how did it make you feel, and how did that help you to grow into the man you are today? My bad. That was really vague. Rather than tackling that whole question, let's start with where we left off at. So 58, you formed 58s.
Yep.
Max picking up some traction.
Yep.
Where does Varsity Squad come in on there? That's first.
So Varsity Squad, I would say probably right around I want to say because I don't know right off bat, but I want to say that mid 2011, early 2012.
So, like, when Ill Spoken broke apart, did Beatty leave y'all together and go find John Quest, or like?
No, he was kind of doing. Beatty was doing his own thing solo, and I think at the time John Quest started bubbling and they was making music together. But we was still making music with Beatty too, in his solo time. But through that, you know, as him and John Quest were building, at some point, you know, they formed the Varsity Squad. But I'm pretty sure that first Varsity Squad project was like 2012. Because I know they were still both doing like solo material in between Varsity Squad too. You know what I mean? Yeah. I know Life had took Quest other places just personally too, where he kind of like stepped aside for me. And I know he's back now because I be talking to him every so often, and I know Beatty's always working. Beatty's like one of the a workaholic, always been.
That's crazy because Beatty is probably, like, I don't think I've ever even seen him in person. Like,
that's pretty crazy.
Never talked to him once. We've never met. He's probably like one of the very few artists that, like, I've even talked to Mac.
Yeah.
I've ran across Wiz before, like back in the day. Beatty is like the one dude I've never encountered ever.
That's crazy because he's definitely like maybe that isn't because Beatty's like a hip hop nerd. Like his life is like, well, now he's got a family, he's got a wife, a daughter, which is I was crazy having kids early. He did it the right way, had his kids later. So, he's in full fledged with his family and his career. But that's crazy because he was in that time of an era of things, he was always outside. But again, he was like super, super into hip hop, like a hip hop nerd. So it's like 9 times out of 10, if it didn't have anything to do with the music or hip hop, you probably wouldn't see Beatty.
That makes sense.
So I guess I could see that.
Yeah, I feel like around 2006. So I opened my studio in 2006 in McKees Rocks.
Okay.
And that was around the time. So I started, we'll say 2003 is when I moved to Atlanta. And when I moved to Atlanta, it was like working with like celebrity names, big studios and shit like that.
Okay.
I didn't like it too much, moved back 2004. And then that's when the South was bubbling with, I think, Crime Mob and Jeezy and all that shit.
Yep.
I opened my studio in 2006, and this is when I shifted from, like, being an artist to business. Mm-hmm. And when I shifted to business is when everyone that was, like, truly creatives and truly into the art, to me it was like, you ain't doing it right. Like, I had so much ego coming off that, like, I was working with Monica and J Records, like, you ain't shit.
Yeah.
And that was my whole energy, where anybody that didn't understand business and just wanted to create, but didn't want to, like, get down with the team, you know what I mean? So, like, if somebody's rapping, and that's all they doing is rapping, and they dope, and I'd be like, yo, sign with my team, let me put you on.
Yeah.
And they like, no, why would I do that? Like, cause you don't know business. Sign with the team, let me get you straight.
Yeah.
And they like, nah, I'm gonna do it by myself. At that point, from that point, it was like, I can't fuck with this person.
Yeah.
So, like, what you saying that Beatty was like super into hip hop and stuff like that. Yeah. It's probably good I didn't come across him. If I did, it probably would have been a ruined relationship at that point.
Yeah. Nah, I feel you. Yeah. Nah, but like I said, he is a super workaholic though. I know. When it's time for him to create, bro, he's both feet in. Yeah. Hands as well. Yeah. Definitely can never take that away from him.
So Mac, he starts taking off.
Yep.
How does that make everybody feel? Is everybody happy about it?
Yeah, for the most part. I feel like everybody was happy about it, but I definitely feel like, and I don't know personally, but I know that it made certain people feel a way. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know if it was full jealousy or if it was like, we should have been first or whatever. But again, I never looked at it like that, bro, because, I know what I'm capable of doing, and you know what I mean? I was always like a sponge, so I was willing to, get better, try different things, you know what I mean? Some stuff works, some stuff don't. Yeah. And like, again, just being around somebody, it's proven who Mac Miller was, being around somebody, it's like, steel could only sharpen steel, you know what I mean? Yeah. I do feel like there's a line of stand down without like striking or like, smacking your integrity, but it's like, I don't know, there's also like, everybody got their turn. Yeah. So patience is definitely a thing that I was always like good with working with, you know what I mean?
That's definitely a thing. Was there ever a thought of, like when Mac really started working with Rostrum heavy, like me in that situation, I'd be looking at Rostrum like, yo, sign me too.
Definitely. I wasn't too vocal on it, but again, I feel like that was a thing citywide, just not with like our particular circle. But I think a lot of people looked at the Rostrum situation, like, especially with Wiz and then Mac being the second, you know what I mean? Like, man, where's our opportunity? Where's our chance? Yeah. I feel like it didn't really come to a point where people kind of respected it or was like cool with it until they signed Bo. And then I personally feel like they took a while to get invested or even be incorporated into Bo's situation. Because not saying that Bo was never hot, because I respect Bo to a very high standard, what he does, not just lyrically, but musically, and the man he is, you know what I'm saying? But
right.
I just feel like at the time they jumped on Bo's board, like, not gonna say it was too late, because I'm sure he did what he could with it, but it was like, y'all could have did that a little sooner, you know what I mean? But again, when you look at it through the scope of the city, they had already been catching flack, you know what I mean? Like, only Wiz, only Mac, you know what I mean? But again, too, you got to understand business. Like, looking at what they did with Wiz and, you know, how they built him up, and how they built Mac up, you know, they're looking for a particular thing. And not saying that you're not talented or you ain't got this viral moment or this smash hit. They might not be willing to take on what you're bringing, or they might not, your sound, your image might not be what they're trying to portray as their face of their label. You know what I mean?
You know what? I was thinking about this recently for like some of the controversy surrounding, like, right now is 360 deals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
From a business standpoint, like, it's like the worst concept ever for an artist, right? Mm-hmm. From a business standpoint, if I have a product that I'm trying to sell, I need for that product to make me money, right? Mm-hmm. If the way that I'm making money as a record label is through album sales, and I'm like a major or independent but on a large scale record label, and you only selling 10, 20,000 records, that's not going to make me enough money to pay, you know, all the staff and stuff that is building you up. Mm-hmm. When your demographic and the fan base that you have, they might be an intense, loyal following that will fly to Alaska to watch your shows. Mm-hmm. That's going to buy all of your merchandise. Where you as an artist, you could cake off with 20,000 fans that are super fans, buying physical CDs, all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. If you're reaping the rewards for all of that money, but all I'm getting is just sales and that's it, and it's only those 20,000 people, I'm not making no money. So it's like, in order for me to make you a star and invest in you, I need to make some money back. You got to give me a percentage of all this other stuff. Otherwise, it don't make no sense for me.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that could, I don't know the situation, especially with Bo or Rostrum or anything like that, but just business-wise, like hypothetically, there could be situations where someone's audience, you know, a business just looks at it like, maybe I don't know how to sell to that audience. Mm-hmm. or prepare you to that audience. Maybe that audience I don't believe is large enough to provide enough of a profit to justify putting you on the team.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, in Pittsburgh, one of the biggest narratives that we have is the city's so talented. Everyone has talent. Matter of fact, I wanted your perspective on this too, like the concept of talent versus what is it really like in business? Like when you dealing with these major CEOs, bosses, you know, record labels or whatever else, how much does talent really matter?
I mean, at this day and age, man, it's like slim, I personally feel like, because, I mean, I'm sure you agree, and this is just my opinion, there's a ton of music out there that's like mainstream or like in our face that I'd be like, this is basura. this is Wednesday morning, like, but again, the social media like stuff is so relevant now. So it's like, if you got 107K followers and your videos and your reels or your pictures are getting so much traction, it's like the spotlight is on you. You're already paying attention. So the music you're making is like probably like at the bottom of the list. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, I be seeing them in there smoking weed. I be seeing them throwing his drip on. I be seeing them do this, and every time he's in Miami, this is what he does. Like, it's like, what's the song from him? Oh, you don't even know. You know what I mean? So it's like, I really don't think the talent is like even something super big in it, you know what I mean, if anything. But again, that was another thing for us, like being on the tours that kind of, I won't say robbed us, but like we was at the beginning of the social media wave. Like this was when like Instagram videos were only 15 seconds. You know what I'm saying?
Back when, was it Vines?
Yeah,
Vines
like
came out?
Vine was like popping, so it's like, and Vine were like 10 seconds. So you know what I mean? Like imagine like if we was on those tours, and these are things I learned after being out there, but like imagine just like if I was able to document, and not saying I wasn't able to, we wasn't getting paid the most out there, so it's like, you know, having to pay, me split money between me and Vinny, pay our DJ, you know, and then pay a videographer. It was a lot. It was taking a chunk from us. So, but there's things like I wish we would have did, like had a videographer out there, like really documenting what we was going on. And even just, like I said, the Instagram or the Facebook videos being able to be longer at that time, where you could actually be on the live for 30 minutes and show you the set and show you us walking up to people and stuff like that. Those were things that, like, you know, kind of we just didn't, I don't even say drop the ball, we just didn't get to, you know what I mean?
That was a thing for me. I think the moment, and this might be a Pittsburgh thing, the moment y'all gained like my complete respect, it was either a picture or a short video of y'all on the stage, and you could see the crowd with like people everywhere with their hands up, like screaming.
Oh yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. St. Louis, I think I had a blue jersey on.
Maybe.
Okay.
But like the image of seeing that,
Yeah.
because I've performed like many times in my career.
Yeah.
I've never, ever performed for a packed crowd that went crazy over me.
Yeah.
Never. Like, every time I performed, it was like opening up for somebody when, like, you know, the crowd's just coming in, they sitting down, getting settled. And you got some people that's familiar with the music. So there's a few people in front, you know, when you say yeah, there's a few people, But to see everybody like hands up screaming like you a major superstar, seeing that was like, oh shit, they next.
Yeah, nah, bro, like, and it was crazy because like a lot of those crowds that were going crazy like that, they were in areas you would probably have never thought was just crazy. Like, and we did a lot of the big cities too. Not saying that the big cities weren't cracking, but like, if it's this picture I'm thinking of, that was in St. Louis. Like, the Midwest is an area like, damn near everywhere we went in the Midwest is crazy. Like I said, spots like we did South Dakota, Vermilion, South Dakota. We were the first. It was Mac's tour, so it was us. That was the first tour, so it was us. We opened, Casey Veggies was in the middle, and then Mac closed it. So technically, because it was Mac's tour, he was the first rap act, hip-hop act to ever come there. But because we were the opening act, me and Vinny were the first rappers to ever touch a stage there. Wow. They were mosh pitting, going crazy. Mac, on his set, he had a segment where he would play his guitar. You know, he was incredible with instrumentation and stuff. Yeah. He'd play a guitar, dude jumps on stage in front of him, like, doesn't do anything to him, just jumps up, gets tackled. We pull up to Lincoln, Nebraska the next day. He's outside the venue getting with a black eye, getting interviewed. Like, he just didn't get pummeled. I'm just like,
he followed you?
Yeah, like he came to the next show. That was in South Dakota. He came the next day to Lincoln, Nebraska, and he's out there, and I'm like, Big Dave, Mac's security guard. I'm like, yo, ain't that boy? He's like, yeah, Mac. He gets off, takes a picture with Dave and everything. Dave's like, just don't do that shit tonight. But like, just crazy stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like I said, the Midwest like was super crazy, and then like as that was the first one, but as we went on to like 3-4 other tours with them, where we just got sharper, you know what I mean? And again, we was always students, so people, my boys would be like, I know it was cracking, would you be backstage watching them? I was like, I'd never be backstage watching them. We go in the crowd and mingle with the fans, bro. And I want to see his shit. Like, don't get me wrong, there was times I watched his set from the side, but most of the nights, 90 to 95% of those nights, we watched it from the crowd because, bro, I want to see how Casey Veggies is like, his crowd participation is, how he's moving. I want to see how they really cater to Mac while he's on stage. So, bro, we was really sponging all of that into our set, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
was there an artist development for Mac? Like, how did, At what point in time did he become the teacher? Like, how did that happen? Because y'all were, like, on the same plane at one point, right?
Yeah, and I'll just say, I just feel like, I always tell people, like, we gave it up how we did on stage because we came from Pittsburgh, from doing Z Lounge, from doing Shadow Lounge, from doing Sokol Halls in North Braddock and Homestead and all these random places, like these smaller venues where it's like I might have rocked something at the Shadow Lounge on a random night and there'd be 5 people in there, bro. But I'm tearing it down like there's 500. So when I translated to them big stages with Mac and Dom Kennedy and Method Man and Red, bro, it was like 2,500, 5,000 was like, oh, this is game time. Like the lights is on. Like, just treat it in your head like them 5 people we did at Shadow Lounge a year ago, bro. Like, and we had fun, and every them 5 people in there never forgot us. Yeah. Make sure we let these 3,000 people remember us, bro. So I was always able to use that energy, but because Mac took that energy we was all building on at them Shadow Lounges and Z Lounges and all these places and took that to the big stage. And mind you, he was already on the road for a year and a half, 2 years before we actually got to be out there with him. So he had learned just, a little more before us. So subconsciously, he don't even know that he was teaching us, you know what I mean? But we was, like I said, we was being sponges because it's like, appreciate the opportunity of you being out here, but because you got us out here, we ain't just gonna be on no slacking. Yeah. I'm gonna make sure that even if 2 tickets is sold on behalf of the come up, it's like we put 2 asses in them seats because they know that we're attached to you. They know we're from Pittsburgh, so I looked at it as like a great representation. We got Pittsburgh opening up, Pittsburgh closing it, and then he always has somebody in the middle or 2 other people in the middle, but it's like Pittsburgh opening it, Pittsburgh closing it. So there's a standard, bro. I can't just let you go up there and just outshine me, even though the people was in the building for you. Right. Bro, Pittsburgh is on the card, so want them to remember us, bro.
Yeah, and that's, I don't know if it's still like that, but whenever you bring your opening act with you, that's how it's supposed to be. Yeah. Which is different from my understanding, where like if you were to go somewhere and the promoter said, okay, we're just paying you to perform, but they have their own opening acts, completely different.
Oh yeah, definitely. And there's been a few of the shows we did with him, like on that, like I remember I think the Blue Slide Park tour we did somewhere in like Connecticut or Massachusetts, but Green Lantern was his DJ, Chris Webby.
Oh wow.
I think that's his name. He was another white rapper, but he opened up for that. I think he went like, we opened up, then he went, and then Casey went. Okay. And then like, once we got off of that tour, he was like popping, you know what I mean? It was like in the era of like, right after Mac was got popping. So it was like Chris Webby, Little Dicky, and then there might have been like one other one at that specific time. But like dudes like that, like even on Good AM tour, I met Jack Harlow. He was there, and I don't even think he was a rapper at that time. He was a Mac fan.
Wow, that's crazy. That is real interesting.
Yeah, in Louisville.
Wow. Yeah, man. So, matter of fact, when you was coming up the steps, I think when you was coming in earlier, I was telling you about, it's not a feeling of like starstruck, just like a crazy respect for just you in general, to know like what I know about how much you did and traveled and stuff. It's like, this guy has so much experience in life, and something that for me, I did a lot in, like, I feel like relatively in regards to like my friends, my peers and stuff like that, just in the music industry, I did a decent amount. An amount that for me to look back on it and look at everything I did in my life, I could feel like I accomplished success somewhat, like in that field. So for me to be able to know somebody personally, and you know, I got your phone number. I can call you. Yo, what up, bro?
And my line's open all the time, bro.
That's what I'm saying. The emotion and the thought behind it is like damn near like starstruck. Like I'm sitting across from this dude that performed on tour with Mac, and not even Mac, like nothing not as much relative to Mac, but more so specifically you perform for thousands of people on tour.
Yeah.
And that's huge to me. Not even just because of the accomplishment, but you've done it more than once, so you learned a lot. You've seen a lot. You've experienced just a lot in there in general.
Yeah.
So that was what I was trying to explain earlier, and I was like, I'm gonna save it for the end.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it, brother. Definitely, man.
It's huge, man. I don't know. I gave up early on my shit. I started having kids early.
Yeah.
And shit, I got 6 total, mine, like before I met my wife.
Okay.
I started when I was 25, and it just got to the point where it was like, I need to put too much money into making music. And I had all this other stuff going on, and I had my kids I had to take care of, and I felt like I was dividing myself, between everything. Like I can't serve more than one master, so to speak. And no, I retired. It's probably like 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
So there was still a portion of me that was like holding on to it, like, damn, I love it, I miss it. Yeah. But at the same time, it was like,
it's pulling me different directions.
Yeah. It's kind of like I just had to give it up. So I was like living through y'all.
Yeah, nah, bro, damn, appreciate that.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Like the feeling of when I was younger, there was no Wiz Khalifa yet.
Yeah.
And it was, who's going to be the first one to make it? Mm-hmm. And we had, I think, we had Sam Snead.
Yep.
That went over with Dr. Dre.
Mailman.
We had Mailman.
Joe Beast.
Joe Beast was the thing. Matter of fact, Joe Beast, I want to say the Car Wash soundtrack released maybe sometime around 2003, like when I was in Georgia.
Yeah, early 2000s for sure.
They used to pick with me. Yo, Joe Beast is your man, blah, blah,
yeah.
for that No Jam, because I used to play it all the time when I was down there.
No, that was big.
Yeah, it was.
Definitely from the city,
And that was my thing, but it was like nobody like blew at that time. So me, much like every other artist, is like, yo, I'm gonna be the first one to do it. And then Wiz blew, and it was like, okay, Wiz did, well, I'm gonna be the second one.
Yeah.
But to hear, like, nah, these are actual, and nothing against Wiz. I've said this a few times, but Wiz, to me, doesn't necessarily represent what I knew, what I understood, and what I grew up with in being a dude from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Like, his energy just comes across as not a Pittsburgh guy.
Yeah.
Y'all blowing and literally, like, wearing Braddock on you is like, yo.
Yeah, it's familiar.
Yeah. Like we doing it. We there.
Yeah.
We there.
And it's funny to go back, like, on Wiz, because still to this day, there's like some weird animosity with like a lot of the local artists and him, you know what I mean? I mean, in our recent times, there's been some controversy. But I just remember, like, in those times, like you said, when he was first getting his name buzzing and moving around, Prince of the City 1, and being over there with E-Dan and Giuliano and them guys. Yeah. And I just remember, like, there was a lot, he was catching a lot of flack, like, from all different angles, 100%. You know what I mean? And and it was understandable, you know what I mean? You could look at it from his angle and be like, man, y'all was hating. And maybe it was hating. Some of it was definitely hating, but some of it was, like, kind of necessary, like, to be like, well, let's check the temperature, you know what I mean? But when people say, like the gatekeeper, it's like, you gotta put yourself in that man's shoes too, because when he probably really needed, I'm not gonna say probably, when he really needed y'all support, y'all went 90 going north, like shitting on him. You know what I mean? So you could kind of, even if he is or isn't gatekeeping, if it isn't gatekeeping, and he's just like, I don't owe nobody nothing. I don't gotta do nothing for y'all, but I love the bird. You kind of gotta understand where, like, when I needed y'all to show up to them shows and come out to them video shoots in the Berg when I was there, y'all wanted to be the ones, y'all wanted to battle me for my deal, and y'all wanted to do this and that, and I didn't really need that energy at that time. Even if he was willing to be like, yeah, I'll battle him, you kind of don't really need that energy when you're going up from your city, especially when looking back, you're the first one.
So, and I'm not gonna defend them, and definitely I'm not gonna go against Wiz, but kind of give some slight pushback as to maybe a different perspective of, at least from my perspective, with Wiz not being from Pittsburgh. First time I heard of Wiz, he's talking super gangster on the track, and his energy is not gangster at all. And from what I knew, there was like no hood that was like, yeah, like he's official. And it was like, who is this dude? And then all of us, you know, like I said, I was from the street side of Pittsburgh rap. All of us trying to get a deal. He's not coming through the same lane and performing shoulder to shoulder like Mac Miller did, like you did. He just jumped in somehow and blew up. So everybody's looking like, you're talking street stuff and not really street. You just gypped the line. Like, we formed the line to get on. You just gypped the line and went. So everybody's kind of like, no, I'm not supporting that. And I'm not saying it's justified. It's definitely not. Like, it's hating. But I can understand it simply because I see a portion of it now. Like, even with this podcast. Like, there's people that come up to me and they're like, oh, your podcast is dope. Like, okay, word. And you know, I'll say like the first 2 episodes I released, bro, I had a total of like, I don't know, maybe 15 watch hours. And I had like 50 people that was messaging me like, yo, the podcast is crazy, it's dope. Like, you ain't watched that shit. You know what I mean? And you know, when I have calls to action and I'm like, yo, I need everybody, tell your friends to like this page and follow this and do that. Everybody kind of lazy, you know, taking their time and shit like that. I don't really get emotional about it, and I wouldn't gatekeep because of it. It's, I don't know, I just feel like I understand. Like, people need to feel like what they're doing matters. And for Wiz, nobody knew that he would be what he has become.
No, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Especially after, I mean to cut you, I'm sorry.
No, you cool.
Especially after, like how we were talking earlier, like the his Warner stint, the Say Yeah time. Like, that didn't really work. And I thought, like, after that, I didn't know what it was going to look like after that personally, because I remember after that time, as that deal, I don't know if the deal failed or just, you know, he ran through it the way he did, but I remember him being back in certain areas and avenues of the burg where it was like, oh, okay. But then, you know,
got it cracking again.
Being able to be who he is, you know what I mean? He was able to jump into a different situation. Cushion Orange Juice was born, and, you know, the rest was history.
I mean, in general, Wiz represents Pittsburgh, and I tell people all the time, like, I love Wiz. His music, love, hate, like, there's some, just like any other artist, there's his older shit that I really appreciate. That was, like, long before he blew. He got shit out now, like, We Them Boys, like, lyrically I don't like it as an artist, but that shit go hard for real.
Oh, yeah, it's an anthem. You know what I mean? It does what it does.
Black and Yellow, I did my own remix for Black and Yellow because I liked it so much. Like, where's the man for real?
See, I liked it's crazy because I liked out of them two, I always liked We Them Boys more. I don't know. Because I'm like weird with like, and I don't think he intentionally intended for that to be a Pittsburgh song. But, I mean, it goes, you know, with our theme. But I don't know. I'm like weird with Pittsburgh.
Honestly,
songs.
That's how I was initially. When it first came out, I was offended. As a Pittsburgh guy, that everybody was saying this is the Pittsburgh song, and I'm like, it can't be a Pittsburgh song. Yellow's not our color.
I feel you. I don't know. Even just like outside of that, just like I don't know, like Pittsburgh songs a lot of times like from artists be seeming like forced. That don't come off like genuine. Like you turn the beat on and this was what came to you. It's almost like a lot of times I listen to the Pittsburgh songs or like songs geared toward the city and be like, you thought in your head, like, let me make something for the city. And that's like, I don't like doing music like that. But that's just my thing. You know what I mean?
I'm the same way. I'm the same way. Like forcing a song. I learned since grade school, probably 4th grade. My music teacher she would play like Mozart, Chopin, and we would have to close our eyes and imagine a story, like as we listen to classical music. Yeah,
that's fire.
And you know, when you hear like the real deep, could be like a cello or something like that. It was like something scary. Oh, there's a kid running through the forest, and then there's a rabbit walking. Like that helped me to associate music with like emotions and images. Yeah, that's where I write from.
Yeah, so, that's dope.
So like as I'm listening to the beats and stuff like that, the beat has to talk to me. Yeah, and then I just fill in the words that I hear from it.
Yeah, no, that's dope. Yeah, I'm kind of like that to a degree. Yeah, definitely.
That's nice. I don't know if you might have heard some. I'm gonna have to play some stuff for you later, man. Send you some stuff or something.
I remember some. I'm terrible with names, but I remember, like you said you cut at like 2014.
Yeah, My last album that I put out was Piracy. That was 2010. I pushed it maybe for like 2 years, and then the last album I was working on was The Devil's Playground.
Piracy though, you had some features on there?
A few, I think.
I want to say for some reason, somebody I know personally put me on to that album. Maybe it was Chemical.
I don't know.
Maybe it was Chemical, or maybe it was Chronic. Chronic, was a part of Chemical's Overlook DNT, their brand, but I want to say it was one of them, but I know for some reason I remember that. I remember listening to some of your stuff back at that time, and I feel like it was Piracy, but again, I would have to see a track list.
Possibly. That was the last album I put out. I still have a whole album that I wanted to put out that I just didn't. Man, and that's another portion too. I'll ask you more questions about that, being like at this old age and shit.
Yeah.
So, all right, we got through the Rostrum thing. Mac, Blue, Mac, and Torn and stuff like that. When he was doing his reality show, were you a part of that?
I was out there for like. There was a time I was out there and they was like filming, but we was never like part of the cast or nothing like that.
Like being on there?
Nah.
Was that a thing when so like when he connected with Hardo and brought Hardo on and stuff, like was you a part of that or was there?
We were around, but like at that time, like with him and Hardo, like they was like trying to get Hardo into like a different situation. You know what I mean? So Hardo was connecting and clicking with different people. So he was out LA really actually getting active, meeting people and doing other things. But, you know, he got Mac out there as well, so he was able to touch base. But, yeah, we was around Hardo and for a couple of times. Like, we did the Tabernacle in Atlanta, and us and Hardo opened on that show. Hardo went before us, then us. Then I think that was Space Migration. So we had, like, Vince Staples, the Internet, the band, and maybe one other. Chance the Rapper, and then Mac. So it was a big tour on that one, but yeah, we was around Hardo at the time. But like again, they was trying to work him into a different situation, so they was kind of keeping him close at that time. Because you gotta remember, he was messing with. He had a situation with Meek Mill, like right off of Mac. I think Hardo had went to jail for a minute, came home, and then they got him into the Grand Hustle scheme with T.I.
Right.
Then he had went down again, and that's when I'm doing this for Black and Yellow, free Hardo. Like that was all around that time. So they was kind of working him in the different situations, to my knowledge.
I got to try to link with him, hear more of his story. The tour. How many tours you been on total?
So we did 2011 was Blue Slap Park, 2012 was Macadelic. 2013 was Space Migration. 2015 we did Good AM.
And you did like the whole complete tour, or just like a couple days?
Nah, just legs. Like Blue Slide Park Tour, we did a month.
Is there a reason for that? Like, was it not in the budget or like time? And
I never got the real answer to that. That's a question I always wanted to know. But I never got the question to that. If I'm keeping it all the way tall, from Blue Slide Park Tour being the first one we went on to, which was 2011, to Good AM being 2015, our time was shorter. Like
each time.
And being all the way honest, our money got shorter, which I don't know why. You know.
This is under Remember Music?
Yeah, so, and I'm glad we came back to that. So with Remember Music, we were officially the first act to them, but we never signed paperwork or anything.
Oh.
You know what I mean? We were never officially signed to them. And I don't know if Mac just didn't have enough time to work it into where we were officially, signed and paperwork happened. But we were never officially signed, but that's home team, so we didn't want to go, we ain't signing them, you know what I mean? Right, it's like, we had hopes or just thinking it's gonna work itself out. But yeah, we were never signed to them officially, like paperwork or anything. Like I said, Blue Slide Park Tour was 1 month. Macadelic was actually the longest. That was a 2 month. We was on there for like 2 months and a week. And then Space Migration was 2 weeks. Good AM was 2 weeks. But then we also toured with him. We did a week, a college run. It was like 7 days in Ontario. So we did a college run, and then we also did in between. I want to say it was in between Space Migration and Good AM. So it would have been 2014. We toured with another guy from Minnesota, Mod Son. He's a rapper. Well, he was a rapper at the time, but I think he does like alternative rock at this point. But yeah, that was a super experience because all the tours we did with Mac, we were on tour bus and pampered, being with the home team. My Son tour was the tour where we had to get it out the mud. Shout out to Willie Whips being the driver.
Wait, what you mean out the mud?
I mean, like, it wasn't as pampered, like, on the tour, like, when we were on the road with Mac, like, we got the tour bus, so there's an itinerary where, we on the bus at a certain time, we peeling out here, we loading in, loading out, this is the hotel, you know what I mean? On that Mod Son run, it's like, we're using Willie Whip's parents' SUV at the time, where it's like, Willie Whip's, or DJ Pete Butter, shout out Pete Butter, me and Vinny in the back, and then merchandise, DJ equipment, clothes packed up so high like, in the hatchback where you can't even see driving on the road, to the point we don't, we're meeting people, females, dudes on the road. Can we stay with y'all tonight? We had a couple people in some of them cities because that Mod Son tour was only, I think, like we had probably like 2 off days on it, so altogether it was like probably like a 14-day or 14-day stretch. But we knew a couple people in some of them cities. Like, I remember one night we did Chester, like outside of Philly. So it was like on Westchester's campus. We met like 3 girls, and they was like on it. We can stay with y'all tonight. We ended up staying with them. Just chilling and shit, just meeting people on the fly. So like I said, it was that one was like, it was a different avenue than being on the road with Mac, where everything is set up a certain way. This was the one we got to figure it out.
That's crazy, because Mac wasn't signed to a major, right? He was only signed to Rostrum.
Yeah.
So
he didn't even sign to the major until Good AM.
I didn't know he was ever signed to a major.
Yeah, that's where the well, maybe even after Good AM, because that's where the Warner deal came in, and Remember Music was supposed to.
So they had the label. They had him too, like separate from the label.
Mac. Yeah. Like Warner did.
Yeah, I'm asking.
Yeah, like at a point, he got I forget the number. He got a bulk amount of the number from Warner, and then there was a portion that was cut off too
for the record label.
To Remember, yeah. But that might have been I think that was his last album before he passed away.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was over there. Short-lived.
For the tour stuff, before we get more into the extra while we're on tour, this is my understanding all the time that tours suck.
I had a great time on tour, bro.
Really?
Great time.
Like, I've heard about, you know, perform the same songs all the time is fucking annoying. Then not much sleep. So it's like you perform here, you gotta sleep in, you know, the camper or whatever, tour bus. You gotta be up and ready to go in a few hours for the next city. A lot of times you stop and eating gas station food. Like, y'all didn't have that experience?
Nah, bro. Like I said, we were on the bus, and like depending on how far the ride may be, we might pill out at 5 a.m. if the ride is only 2 hours away. You know what I mean? But if the ride is 10, 11 hours, it might be like we doing a show, and then as soon as Mac is off, we pilling out an hour later. So it's like as soon as Mac is off and we break down, once everything is broken down, we on to the next. But like most of the spots had if not catering, they gave you a per diem. So it would be like $20 to $50 every day, and you didn't have to use it for food, but it's like you could use that $20, $50 and go to Red Lobster or go to whatever restaurant, or you know, in a lot of the southern states, you know, they would have that good southern hospitality. It'd be a full spread of stuff in there. So when you were from dinner or lunch, breakfast, lunch, dinner, desserts, you know what I mean, everything, and then you got everywhere we went, we had Mac had his own writer. The middle acts had their own writer. The come up had their own writer. Obviously, we were, you know, the lowest on the bill. So our writer between me and Vinny, like it might be, Vinny got his basket, I got my basket. Mine's might be a bottle of Henny, Shirley Temple drink or some ginger ale, and a case of water. Vinny's might be a bottle of Henny, a carton of cigarettes, and some water or something like that.
Did you have a limit to what you could put on your rider?
Most of the times we didn't get more than like 4 or 5 things, you know what I mean? But Mac spread was like fruit tray, vegetable tray, case of water, 2 cases of water, carton of cigarettes, his preferred choices of liquor at the time, 2-3 bottles or whatever, pack of underwear, pack of shirts. You know, you up there sweating, he might take his shirt off right after, need something to change in shirt. Of course, he was pampered to the most. He was the breadwinner of that situation. But yeah, we had writers everywhere. Like I said, if it wasn't catering, it was per diem. And then, you know, once you're on them stretches, you're always gonna have off days. So it was like we were just talking about this in the studio last week, because this was a Macadelic tour. Mac had to go do a festival. I forget what festival it was, but it was in LA or in Cali somewhere. But we were performing in Green Bay, but we had like 5 off days. And we was like wanted to go to Chicago, because I'm like, you know, we could find some fun, do some other stuff in Chicago. We get to Green Bay, bruh. We literally ate, the hotel is here. A hop away is a gas station. A hop next to that is Hardee's. Where I ate Hardee's, Green Apple Powerades, and Old English Malt Liquor 40s for 5 days in a row, bro. Wow. I never wanted to see a Hardee's again after that Green Bay trip, bro. I had to force myself one day. There was like across the highway from us where we was at in the hotel. There was like a Olive Garden. I said to Willie West one day, I'm like, bro, I can't eat Hardee's today, bro.
Bro, Hardee's is the one that's like, I almost want to say it's damn like a Sonic, like it tastes like Sonic.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is. It's very similar.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, bro.
We get it. My wife is from Detroit.
Oh, okay.
So we drive up there a few times every year.
Yeah.
And all the time, the kids can't make it the whole drive without eating. So we gotta pull off, and where we pull off, the stop we pull off at is usually a Hardee's there. Yeah,
man.
And
I ain't ate one since, bro.
I don't blame you. We don't even got that in the city, do we?
Yeah, nah, we don't. And I'm glad, bro. I got like a little resentment towards it, bro. 5 days in Green Bay, and it's like, bro, it was so crazy. One day we walked like, I can't even say the miles, but it was definitely like at least 4 or 5 miles, bro. We walked to Dick's Sporting Goods, and it was like, bro, super dead. It's like March, April. I asked like one of the workers, I'm like, What do the Packers, like the players do, like during the off season? She straight up told me, like, most of them just go home if they're not from Wisconsin. I was like, all right.
That's crazy. And they be talking about like Pittsburgh is one of the worst places for players to want to play. I know Buffalo is definitely one of the worst, but I guess.
See, and I enjoyed myself in Buffalo, but like I mean, it's crazy because, like I said earlier, like the Midwest is like some of the shows where I feel like the most
Craziest.
general natural love, where it's like they're going crazy from opening song to end song. But I do realize in the middle of the map, that's where it's like, it's probably the least stuff going on. And that's why they do go crazy for the concerts, because it's like,
nothing to do.
They don't get a lot of like entertainment or a lot of things like for instance, I know a lot of people in the Midwest, like they still have skating rinks where they like skating nights are big to them. You know what I mean? It's like, I wish like I came from Woody High's side of things where we had the Ardmore skating ring. There used to be the Freaknik there and Whammo. Oh man, it's been gone for a minute.
I never been. Look, last place I went skating at was McKeesport.
Eden Park. That's still there. Like you walk up the steps into that's still there. Eden.
Okay.
It's called Eden Park, not like Eaton Park, but Eden, like EDEN.
Yeah, that's it. But I was like, I had to be 17, maybe 18.
Okay.
Like it was a long time ago.
Yeah, so that's probably Ardmore was probably still open at that time, but like I know they had issues like shooting boys, they were rumbling in there. They ended up changing it to like a gym, and then I don't know what it is now, but I just remember back in the day, like we used to have like Willow Hills had skate parties there, and it's so nostalgic. I could close my eyes and still like smell it. You know what I mean? How crazy it was. But I know in the Midwest, like areas in like Missouri, Michigan, Ohio, like that's still a big thing. Like they be like, that's all we got, because I know a lot of people from the Midwest. That's a big thing. Like that's all we got to do here. So like when concerts come or any sports, they go crazy for their sports over there. And so that's why I said the reception of like the music out there would be crazy, because it's like they don't get it that often, opposed to like you go to Philly, Jersey, New York City, the DMV. If you ain't delivering, like that's the East Coast. They got people coming there every day. So if you don't deliver, they'll shut you out. You know what I mean?
That's what people used to tell us, that when I was like in the early years of starting my record label, one of the main things everybody used to tell me is you got to go to the C-list places that don't have much. So like if you consider your New York, Atlanta, Miami, LA, like these are your A-list places.
Yeah.
Your B-list places are going to be more like your major cities that aren't as major as the big ones. So
Baltimore,
Baltimore,
Virginia,
Pittsburgh might even fit in there.
Yep.
Cleveland, Columbus.
Yep.
Your C-list and D-list are going to be the places that nobody really knows about.
Tulsa, Oklahoma, OKC.
Have communities that appreciate like the hip hop and stuff like that. Have college campuses.
Yeah.
So those are the people, because the colleges have a budget. So contact their college. See if you can, perform down there, get your song on a radio station, meet the promoters and stuff in their cities. They will treat you like a celebrity.
Yeah, no, actual facts. Just like I said, even like even with Chicago, even it's a major city in the middle of the map too.
Yeah.
But they appreciate it more though for some reason. But I think it's also because they seen it like not only in music, but in the Chicago circuit, like, they've got a lot of actors, actresses.
Yeah. They support their own, too.
No, definitely. And that's a big thing that, like, I pay attention to on the road. Like, for instance, like, how you say, like, sleeping on the tours and stuff, like, say every morning, like, say we got to St. Louis, right, and we pulled up today at St. Louis, and the bus pulled up there at 8 in the morning. I might wake up an hour later, 9:30. Now they would have runners like for the venues, like 2 vans that might take you. Like say you need to go to Walmart and get some fits or get some food for the bus or something. They got runners who will do that, or like you want to go get some cigarettes or go find some weed or some liquor or something. they'll have runners, but what me and Vinny would do a lot of the times was, he'd be like, bro, the runner said they ain't gonna be here for 45 minutes. Be like, oh, well, you can just GPS it. You wanna walk? We'd be walking around these towns, bro, like it was Braddock, bro, or like it was Pittsburgh because, bro, I wanna touch the sound. I wanna tap in. I wanna see what's going on. No, I wasn't doing stupid stuff and running down on people or acting like nothing could happen, but bro, I'm smelling the atmosphere. I'm getting to touch the pavement where it's like, damn, we walking around St. Louis, Missouri, down in the city. I'm seeing, you know, the fiends out here, the bums, and, you know, I'm seeing people on their lunch breaks, the corporate people. So I'm really getting to see how the city is moving. So I'm already really getting a feel of like, okay, what this town's gonna be like. Opposed to, again, I'm a student, a learner. So I listen to St. Louis. I listen to Nelly and the St. Lunatics. I heard Chingy's music. I heard things in their lingo and listened to them for years for music. So okay, I kind of got a little of that Midwest swang. But when you actually out there, you're able to touch the town and really like touch the people. Would be like, okay, I know certain things. Like even in Detroit one time, I came on and was like, we did our first song, and after I was like, Detroit, what up, though? They say what up, though, and they're like, no, that's familiar to them. So they like, how did this Pittsburgh dude know what we on? It's just like, bro, I'm studying you. I'm not just coming up here just to take money from y'all and get up here. I really want to tap in.
That's crazy you say that. And just as you said that, I can hear my wife saying, she says it to me all the time.
What up, though?
What up, though, yeah.
Yeah, that's a Detroit thing.
Yeah. Which I don't even know that I've actually, like, that clicked that it was a Detroit thing. But as you saying, I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Bro, like, I know this because, again, Vinny's brother-in-law is from Detroit. He spent years down here, married Vinny's sister. They back up there with their beautiful family. And he's always put me on Detroit stuff. Yeah. And I met him, like, you know, right as that tour stuff's happened. So I'm like 23 at the time. And it's funny now that when I go back and listen to Detroit music or like watch movies that have Detroit actors and I'm like, you go back and watch 8 Mile, there's probably 100 what up those in there. And it's like at the time 8 Mile was released, you know, I don't really know nobody from Detroit. So I'm just, I might say what up though, and I'm from Pittsburgh, but it's like their thing, what up though. Yeah, and they got like a swang to it. So it's like, if somebody said it and I was blindfolded, I'd be like, oh, you from the D, ain't you, huh? You from Detroit.
Yeah. Pittsburgh, we kind of got our own stuff with that.
So this has been a debate between me and my friend. And I want to ask you a question. Do you think, I don't want this to sound like a color or a race thing. Okay. But it is something that's been like a topic of discussion between me and some coworkers and me and some of my guys. The Yinzer thing. Mm-hmm. Do you think Yinzers are just like the white people of Pittsburgh, or are there black Yinzers to you as well? Because I'm going to tell you my stance after you say what you think.
So this has actually been a conversation over quite a few times. Okay. To me, in my interpretation, Yinzers is a white culture thing. Yeah. Not white
people. Yeah.
Because there are black Yinzers, but those black Yinzers usually fall under white culture.
Okay. Yeah, I could get what you're saying.
Like, and the reason I say that, it's completely different from any other black neighborhood or area that I've experienced in the rest of the country. But here, we only have black street culture. Yeah. Like, we do have middle-class professional blacks, but they're more individuals. Like, neighborhood-wise and areas, communities, it's only black streets. Yeah. So when you think of black culture in Pittsburgh, you think black street, and then everything else is white culture. Or other, you know, we got Indians, Asians, stuff like that. Yeah. But it just falls under, you know, that's white or European culture. Now, it may not actually be that, but from the black community, that's how it appears.
No, I agree, 100%. I was just saying too, more so like in the, like I was saying, I worked to one of my coworkers. I was like, I don't know, like in our household, we never really said yins. Yeah. We say y'all. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't say downtown. I say downtown. I don't say Braddock. I say Braddock.
You know what? I wanted to talk to you about that too. for the Braddock. It's funny you say that because literally verbatim, I think I posted on TikTok. Like that same exact thing. Like black people, black culture people, we don't say it like that. We don't pronounce words like that. We're not Yinzers. We don't fall under that. Matter of fact, to the point, my initial podcast that I started before this one started for that reason.
Okay.
To basically teach people that Pittsburgh, as everybody sees and experiences, oh, this is Pittsburgh, is not Pittsburgh. There's a completely different side of Pittsburgh that y'all know nothing about.
I agree.
And it was like that. Like, we're showing the black community of Pittsburgh to the world.
Yeah.
Where now, I'm kind of doing that, but in a different way, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So, Braddock versus Braddock. So, I worked at, I'm not sure if you're familiar, but there was a plant, a vertical farming plant in Braddock that was for like microgreens and stuff, like a robotic farm.
Okay.
And I worked there. When we started, I was one of when I started there, one of like 25 people total that worked in the company.
Okay.
And we grew from that point. And we were to the point to where I think they had just raised like 36 million or something like that. And it was just 25 people that we would go to like Home Depot and, get some aluminum foil and just try to figure out the test to see if some shit's gonna work. Okay. And we went all the way from that to building like $1 million robotic systems. I was one of, extremely dope. Like, that's a whole nother conversation in itself, but it was literally a tech startup. Okay. Where everybody knew each other on a personal level. To the extent, like, I can interview most of those people.
To this day.
That are, like, good friends of mine, like, CEO all the way down.
Word. That's dope.
So, one of the main things was funny to me. I was one of, on the corporate side, so like not on the farm worker side, on the corporate side, I think I was one of maybe 2 or 3 black people. There were other cultures, like Asian people and, I think we had an African lady, but like African American, matter of fact, I believe I might have been the only one. Our farm was in Braddock. So we go there and everybody's, Braddock, we're going to Braddock. This is Braddock this, Braddock that. And I asked them, I'm like, why do you keep saying Braddock? It's Braddock. And they're like, no, it's named after General Braddock. I'm like, what are you talking about? And they pulled it up and they showed it to me that it's actually named after General Braddock. And his last name is pronounced Braddock, like a UCK sound. And I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So then I started saying Braddock, and I can't remember, somebody was like, no, dog, you pronouncing that wrong. And I'm like, well, technically I'm not. Like, I get it, but I don't know. It's like a black community thing. Like, we have to say Braddock, even though it's Braddock.
No, and you're very 100% right, because that topic came up with somebody older at my job, and they're from like Glassport, like down past McKeesport, and they were like, I know I had a bunch of buds down there in Braddock, and then he was telling me, which I kind of knew, and he was like, I did know it was after General Braddock. And he was like, his name was spelled or pronounced like you said, like Braddock. And I'm like, but like, I grew up in Braddock, and like nobody ever said like I'm going up First Ward North Braddock. Like I'm going up First Ward North Braddock. Like, we even abbreviated as the doc. Like, we know what I mean? We don't say the dick. Like, you know what I mean? Like, right. You know what I mean? We say the doc. Like, it's so funny, like, even like I said, where I live is like off the back end of Turtle Creek. So I've even heard people say Turtle Creek, and I'm like, that is super crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But like it'd be like the Yinzers, like, who said like, my buddy's down there in Turtle Creek. I'm like, it's Turtle Creek. Like Braddock, Braddock. Yeah, like, so I asked that just because that's been an ongoing debate. And I also think too, like I could be blindfolded and hear somebody be like, I wasn't going downtown down there at the draft with the crowds and stuff like that. If I was blindfolded, I'd be like, you're from Pittsburgh, I know it. But it's also like, I could be blindfolded, and that's why I say like, this may be, the term might not be black Yinzer, but like, there's almost like a black Pittsburgh tone because I could be blindfolded and hear S Money, and I know he's from. I'll be like, "You're from Pittsburgh, aren't you?"
Yeah.
Or like a Hardo even got. It's like almost like that East Side, like black East Side tone where like. It's not like as noticeable as like the Yinzers and the Dine-Tines, but it's like it's something in that East Side twang that it's like I said I could be back turned and like if S Money talked and I was in Arizona I'd be like that's S Money or that's an East Side Pittsburgh person.
That's the thing. When I don't know if you remember this recently within the past year or so it was going around that people were asking does Pittsburgh have an accent? Or saying Pittsburgh has an accent, and I'm like, Pittsburgh has many accents.
Yeah.
Like, I can tell what neighborhood you from just by how you
vernacular.
talk. Yeah. In most scenarios, because like East Side sounds completely different than North Side, completely different from West Side. McKeesport, like, they all sound different. Homewood, and then the terms that you use.
Yep.
So like, a lot of people probably nowadays don't realize, like Rays. Rays is a Hill District word.
Yeah.
Where like at one point in time, if you were from the Hill and you started talking, people would know specifically you from the Hill because yo, I'm chilling my Rays, like Neffs.
Yeah.
Like he from the Hill. Yeah. He talk like he from the Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I could tell. I could tell for the most part. My wife, she says that she can hear certain words that I say where I sound like I'm from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time trying to get rid of my Pittsburgh accent, though.
I feel you.
Like being a rapper and not wanting to sound like everyone around me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I feel you 100%.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that we sound country. I've heard that a lot. But I think personally, and it's not just me being biased because I'm from Pittsburgh, I just think that we talk proper. We talk how the English language should be taught. Like there's no like New York is crazy. Like yo son, yo word of me son, yo give it up son. Like that's not proper English. Or like Philly, like man, look at the bull crazy. You see the John, that's crazy.
You sound just like a Philly dude. That's crazy.
Yeah, I got family out there, so yeah, like they don't like y'all don't sound country, but y'all don't sound proper either. Then you got Baltimore, like I'm going to the store. I'm going down there. What you want to do? Like that sounds like country to me. Like to do. Like I just think we talk proper. Like we talk like the English language probably should be spoken. And I know that's gonna sound crazy biased, but like again, bro, I've touched 10 toes down a lot of places, and I've heard some country tones like the South, and no flack, but like sometimes I gotta be like, come again.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like they got their own language, bro.
I just interviewed Drama. That's my bro.
Okay.
He get to talking, and I gotta like pause and stop and use context clues. A lot of times, like people from the South, they talk real fast and kind of like slur their words together, almost like Spanish.
No, they do.
And you gotta like what? Wait.
Chemicals from North Carolina, and he be like. I go down there, store, I'm like, bro, slow down. Come again. Like,
yeah, that's crazy. Okay, so based on that, music-wise, does Pittsburgh have a sound?
Yeah and no. I feel like in current time, we've kind of gotten away from that. It's more so like, you got to I look at like the infrastructure, like what is Pittsburgh known for? You know what I'm saying? Like it's a big jazz scene here. That's why you think like a lot of the dudes from our time was rapping over, even if it was street oriented or more gutter, like a lot of dudes was rapping over samples or more soul type of vibe because of that jazz.
Hold up. So before you go on further, I'm gonna give you my perspective. We'll see if you agree with this.
Yep.
When I listen to Pittsburgh music, all the way from when I first started, so like the early Rough Chemistry, who else was there? Of course, there was like Nod Your Head, Schoolyard, Smash Money.
Okay.
All the way through all the music that I've heard, and I mean, there was like Iced Out Records, Mr. Yuck.
Mr. Yuck. Wow, I haven't heard that name in a minute.
Been a while, right?
It's been a minute, yeah.
Your Greedy Records.
Greedy Records.
from my teenage years all the way up through now, the one thing that they all had in common was instrumentation. More instrumentation, but over a blend of East meets South-ish type drums.
Yeah.
Where the music was always like emotional, like pulling on your emotions, like there was some dramatic melody to it. So like, for example, if you listen to like New York, especially like old school type New York boom bap, there's not much instrumentation to their typical style of music. It's like one loop or one boom
break.
Yeah, and it just repeat, just loop. And it's not playing a whole melody at all. And that's even if there's anything in it. It might just be like one crash hit and that's it, and it just loop. And they like that, and they rap to it. Not in Pittsburgh. In Pittsburgh, we have pianos playing. We have a full sample of melodies that are going on where our style is kind of like East mixed with South, but way more melody dramatic, basically.
No, I agree 100%. And just like to touch back a little bit on my upbringing, like my dad is pushing 70, you know what I mean? He'll tell you he was playing drums since his hands could hold a stick, you know what I mean? He's toured with B.B. King, Clive Davis, and still rocking, and he plays the drums.
He from Pittsburgh or Braddock?
Yeah, he's from Pittsburgh. He's from people was originally from like Rankin, Braddock, but he spent a lot of his time in Crestus up there in like Norfolk Sales.
He might know my dad.
From that way?
My dad's from Wilkinsburg, but
I'm sure he does.
He was in a band. Divine Wind was the name of it.
I'll ask him because he's in ironically a band called the Franchise Bad Dow, but he's also in another band, House of Soul. And then back in the day, like, cause I met my dad a little later in my life. So when I first met him, he was in a band with a violinist, Rodney McCoy and the Deep Pockets.
Wow, that's dope.
And so he was in there. He'd been drumming, for his whole life. My mom, she used to play the saxophone in her time. She would also do jam sessions with her cousin and one of his best friends, where she would do like background vocals and stuff like that. So before I even wrote a rap or even think, like, I didn't have the story like most rappers have, like, yeah, I wrote a rap when I was 7 years old and knew I wanted to rap. I didn't even start rapping or think I was going to rap until football just didn't work out, and I was like 14 years old.
No way. I had a question for that too. At what point in time did you realize you was dope? Was you just rapping?
I was just rapping, bro, because Vinny and Chemical and my guy Big O, they was doing it, and like those were my guys, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, at the time they were getting into that, like football was, because I started playing ball late as well, so I was getting really good my last year of ball, to the point I was like, try this out. But then I start cutting up in school. That type of thing happened where now skipping school, being around certain energy and certain people. And it's like, now I'm around that atmosphere of people, of the guys rapping and music. At this time, this is like you said, early 2000s. This is 2003. So this is like at the time where like my cousin had a karaoke machine. So you can't even mess up. You gotta let it go. Don't mess up at all. Yeah. Then he transitioned to the computer with Magic Studios, and we just trial and error going through it. You know what I mean? Where it was just like fun. You know what I mean? It's like Vinny down there doing something, he don't got a verse. I'm like, oh, I got a little something I could put on it. You know what I mean? I don't really got nothing, but just to feel like you're a part of something. And like I said, it was just something that I transitioned into to keep my brain going, because I knew that I wasn't about to be playing ball, you know what I mean, or ball wasn't going the way I expected it to. And like I said, I didn't have no raps at 7 years old or 10 years old, you know what I mean? I've always loved music and came from a very musically oriented family, I guess you would say, a background. But I didn't even think about rapping, bro, till I was a teenager.
That's crazy.
That's
wild. I mean,
I played the drums 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, trying to get my dad's attention. Then I was in choir, 7th grade. Then 8th and 9th grade, like I said, 8th and 9th grade and 10th grade was where I was like trying to get nice on the football field. And then, like I said, 10th grade is where I start cutting up and eventually dropped out of high school and all that and just find myself in the streets. And, you know, I knew that once I dropped out and once football wasn't there, it was either go to the streets and do what my peers and my day ones is doing, or, you know, I could focus myself on something else like I was doing with football, you know what I mean? Because I was very attentive, you know what I mean? If I put my mind to something, bro, like I could get nice pretty fast at it, you know what I mean? And I had a bunch of help around me and teachers, you know, that subconsciously they didn't even notice, but just with the music and just having it in me from my family, where it's like, once I kind of start, you know, coming back to the studio, coming back to my cousins, and they see in my face more, I'm just like, I don't know, this is what I'm doing. You know what I mean? And it kind of picked up really quick.
Yeah, I think for me there was a moment, tapes. I would record songs at home, and my friends would come over and I'd play it. Or either that, or I would record it to a tape, and I'd go around my friends and I'd play the tape, and they'd be like, ooh, let me get that. And like try to get the tape. Those were the moments where I realized I should keep doing it.
Yeah.
When you know, when you play something for somebody, like I had a song where like I'm on the last verse and I'm rapping with my friends.
Yeah.
And you know how you play a song, you could tell the people just kind of like listening, barely listening, like you know, just talking through it.
Yeah.
When they get to my verse, they stop, conversation stop, their head turn. Who's that? Like, okay, yeah, I got something with this.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are the moments that I had early on, I guess, to propel me. But I was one of the people that started writing when I was like 9, 10 years old.
Yeah. I think when I really started noticing it was, like I said, Vinny, Chemical, and the homie Lando, they was all in that group together, and I was always like affiliated. So I had verses here and there. But Vinny and Kimmy was so nice, and I'm taking nothing from Orlando, my guy Orlando. He just didn't take it as serious as them two.
Yeah.
And Vinny and Kimmy was so nice, I was always trying to catch their heels at this particular time. So when that group disbanded, you know what I'm saying, that was my key to be like, all right, somebody got to keep it going.
Yeah.
And like I was more so like looking back on it, I was more so the flashy one, you know what I mean? Like, I dressed a certain way, you know, I was around certain females and certain different things. So I almost had like, once I really started taking it serious, I almost had like attention already because of the person I was and the people I was connected to. Yeah. So once people saw that I was doing it full time on a solo level, I was kind of catching traction. And then when like a year after they had disbanded, I had put out my own album. But I still had two Vinny features, Chemicals on there, Lando was on there, a couple other guys from around the way. And like I said, I was young at the time, fresh dropping out, but I'm working at KFC. So anybody from the neighborhood, older, I'm pitching my demo to them, moving around. At the same token, my baby's mom had, my son's mother, she had somebody who was in her family who worked for Jive or Arista or something at the time. So, you know, I used to try to put stuff into her ear and be like, yo, get it. She would never get it to me, and I'm so glad she didn't because I wasn't ready at the time. You know what I mean? I look back on those times, look back at that music and stuff now, I'll be like, kind of glad that you didn't. And I used to think sometimes like, damn, you don't want me to make it. You don't want me to make it. This is when I was together with her, but, you know, she didn't have the best rapport with that family member, just given that we were young, that person was older, they were decorated in their career, we were young, and you know, I'm just this young Braddock dude trying to get my feet in the door, just take any opportunity or get any opportunity I could, where I had to just, you know, I had to learn just a lot of stuff like, you know, this might not be ready, or I can see the vision, I can hear the talent, but you might want to sharpen it a little better. Like even how you said like Wiz coming out the gate was like gangster. Now mind you, I'm not a rootin' tootie gangbanger or nothing like that, but I was in the streets, you know what I mean? Life went a certain way for me where things happened. But when I came out, I was rapping a certain way, and I'll never forget bringing my first CD to Brick Diggler at Time Bomb when he was in the original Time Bomb on right across the bridge.
Is that across from Giant Eagle in East Lit, or is that a different one?
It was more so, we're like
Shakespeare Giant Eagle's what I'm thinking of. The EBA stop.
Like above that. So like when you coming around the corner, from Shadow Lounge, and then there's that bridge that goes right up over it. Yeah. He was the first building off to the right.
Okay.
But I remember he had brought it in there, and I brought my CD in there because I remember going in there to cop, gear, and I'm seeing all the local mixtapes, and I'm like, yeah, I gotta get my shit in here too. You know what I mean? So I pressed it up. Sometime after that, I got it in there, and I remember going in there. It was like, what you think about the tape, OG? He's like, yeah, shit's cool, but I don't believe none of the gangster shit. You need to sharpen that out. Music's cool, but I don't know about all this gangster, this cocaine and this mafia shit. T, like, or Fred, like. So that kind of like sat on me. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, damn. But again, this is my first effort, so I'm rapping about what I grew up around and what I'm living and what I've been going through at the time, but also more so rapping like the people that I grew up listening to, where it's like, you gotta find your identity. And like, that sat with me, you know what I mean? Not saying that I was like, damn, I let it beat me up to the point like, damn, Brick thinks I'm terrible, or like, damn, my shit is, I'm discouraged now. I just used it as fuel, like, get back in the booth, I'm tightening it up, you know what I mean? Really find myself. And bro, we was catching a lot of, like, I always saw it like with the guys like Vinny, Chemical, Bang Assist, like lyrically sparring, bro, because it was a good amount of dudes like who was like close to me at the time, who was able to help me sharpen my skills, bro. So even just that, I appreciate that from Brick, that constructive criticism. Yeah. You know what I mean?
When I listen to Franchise now, I hear a wordsmith. Mm-hmm. Not even just a wordsmith. Like, so there's different styles of rap. I consider myself not like a rap connoisseur, but like I really get into like the intellect and just all the details of it and like pick it apart like a scientist. Yeah. So like as I'm listening to you, the way that you put your words in syllables, like not necessarily punchliney, but like kind of like hints of punchline, but more so how you weave words in that, might rhyme on the second or the fourth and bring it around. It's like lyrical acrobats, damn near, but while you're telling something relevant, like getting your point across. That is an extremely difficult thing to do. Like you have to be an intellectual person to sit there and have the patience to really dive in and want to do that. Like, at what point in time did you become a student of writing lyrics?
I want to say more so after that main event project I was saying after. So when Vinny and his group, Vinny Chemical, that group broke up, and then I dropped Main Event. After that Main Event project was Perfect Storm. So in between that time, I was like sharpening. But I remember Vinny saying something to me around that time, because I was asking him, I'm like, bro, like how you rhyme? It was something he rhymed, and I was like, bro, how do you do that? He was like, yeah, bro, like, he's like, I don't know, I always try to rhyme like, something like how you said, like, instead of just basic rhyming, like, I put on my fit and jumped in the car, pulled up to the street and jumped in the bar. Like, that's a basic. Vinny was like, it's kind of hard to explain, but he was one of the main vocal people in my era, being like, or you should try to make the rhymes a little more intricate. And it's crazy because even growing up, like I said, like in the process of finding myself, I was a lot more of a metaphorical rapper when I first started, because this is in the era of like Vinny's oldest brother was a big Cannabis fan, a huge Cannabis fan. Yeah. Cannabis had a lot of metaphors in his rhymes. Then at the time when we first picking off, it's like you got the era of like Cassidy, Lloyd Banks, Fabulous. All these dudes is coming punchlines and metaphors. So that was my example. You know what I mean? Right. Then also we was battling at like a lot of the fairs, and this is in an era of when metaphors is getting the oohs and the ahs. I could be super intellectual, but they don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
But now, because I've sharpened myself some more, be like, sometimes a lot of times I surprise myself because the metaphors come so easy to me now. So sometimes when I'll write a verse and then I'll go back, I'm like, damn, that went over my head. Like I didn't even design to put that together. It came that way. But now it's like I'm more so into the pocket of being intellectual, being substance. You know what I'm saying? The metaphors is like, it's cool, you know what I mean? And because like I've done it for so long, they almost come natural. I don't have to fish for them like I used to when I was initially starting off, like, because I thought that was like what people wanted to hear. It's like, I gotta say the hardest metaphors. I got the hardest punchlines is what's gonna make everybody think I'm the hardest rapper. And it's like, come to find out, it's like, I don't know, like I look at Beanie Siegel as like one of my like sleeper lyricists, bro. He's like a very street conscious, intellectual hood nigga to me. You know what I mean? Where I listen to a lot of his music and, you know, he got a lot of aggressive shit too, but there's some stuff like Nothing Like It off The Reason. Like, that's an incredible song to me where he's like intellectual. Then AZ is another one of my favorite rappers. And I took a lot from AZ's book, like studying him as well as Nas.
You know why? Well, not that. I would say those are all definitely like some of my tops. Mm-hmm. My favorites always tend to be the artists that challenge themselves to do something drastically different on every song. Mm-hmm. So like AZ, for example. I like to listen to AZ. Like, AZ's dope.
Yeah.
He probably wouldn't be like my favorite to go buy like an AZ album. Simply because I know he, as an artist, is defined. Mm-hmm. But there's some people that are so undefined as artists that is their definition. Mm-hmm. Like Andre 3000. Mm-hmm. Kendrick Lamar, kind of. Artists that you don't know, you have no idea what they're going to do in the song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They might rhyme some words that don't even rhyme just by changing the voice up. They
a random melody,
sing a part and stop and play the flute. Like, you know what I mean? And that's like one of the more exciting things for me is to like show me some crazy shit that I ain't never seen before. Like, not from you, not from anybody else, that like really pull me in. But that kind of segues into my next question. First, what happened? Like, how do we go from touring everywhere, and I know with Mac's passing, that probably had a significant amount to do with it, but like from touring everywhere and being, you know, shoulder to shoulder with these celebrities and big names and managers and CEOs and stuff like that, to not necessarily putting out consistent albums and stuff like that, you know, just kind of like a normal guy right now that's like remembering the glory days?
Well, this is another thing too. I'm glad you be touching on this because I don't want this to come off like I have any type of discretion, but I just personally think that we didn't have. There was things that we could have done, like I said, like looking back on it, like earlier, like with having a videographer around, documenting and moments and doing certain things like that could have kept us like in the conversations.
With momentum and stuff, yeah. So
just holding ourselves accountable for that. But just as far as what we did on the stage and the music we were producing, I just don't think we had
like a hit song.
We didn't have that, but let me back up, because we might not have had the smash, but we had a potential, but we didn't have the best people representing us, if that makes sense. And by no means am I throwing that or putting that on Mac, because you gotta remember too, like I had this conversation with my brothers, because they all, you know, everybody got questions, but he was an artist at the same time. So it's like when you sign to an artist, it's like you gotta understand you're always gonna be secondary, because He's still getting his thing off. You know what I mean? He's still full-fledged into what he's doing. So there's really no room or time for him to even focus or put the light on us because he's still trying to get to where he's going, which was understood. But the people that was placed to help us, I just don't really think, I don't know if they didn't see the vision or they didn't see where we was going, because I remember telling Vinny one time, and this was like, we used to call them cognac conversations, like at the end of the night off the Henny, and we just recapping, reminiscing, like, yo, this is super dope, man. I'm super glad to be out here with you. We best friends, and you know, this is what we talked about since we first started, and da da da. But I remember telling them, like, yo, you know, like at some point we're gonna hit our ceiling with being out here with bro. And it wasn't that like we need to get away from this or da da, but if you know about his fan base compared to where we were at, like he had a lot of like younger suburban kids. Now granted, we went on a lot of those stages and we're getting love. But at the end of the day, they're here for Mac. You know what I'm saying? And they're here for his message. We're two kids from Pittsburgh too, but we're from Braddock. Our music, our vibe is different than his. So at a point, I'm paying attention as well as Vinny, like, we're gonna have to change. We're gonna have to shift pace at some point. You know what I mean?
Like shift like your music, like content, or shift your demographic.
Shift our demographic from like
instead of performing for his people, like we got to go find our people.
Yeah, we gotta go find our people. Like, and this is one of the things that we both kind of regret. That's where I do feel some type of way about our signals getting crossed with B. White and Mayo in the 58s, because that was a natural thing. We did that without the help of Mac. You know what I mean? All that Pittsburgh Wu-Tang and dropping 2 songs one day, then the next day, and the love we was able to garner from that was our thing. Mac's thing was like, you and Vinny, love y'all. Y'all my big bros. I look up to y'all. Here's a platform. Would y'all like to do? Hell yeah. But that was set up for him. You know what I mean? And it's like, we was like small fish in a big pond for that thing. With the 58s, we were big fish in our own pond. Right. You know what I mean? Where, and we were representing ourselves. Now, granted, Mayo was bipolar Billy, and for a reason. He had a lot of static with a lot of different people, and a lot of people after a while were a little timid to do business with him. Yeah. But Vinny always said, once Mayo passed, once Mac passed, like, I felt comfortable being in them rooms with Mayo. It felt different being in them rooms with Mayo, because even if he was aggressive, like, bro, he wanted the best for us. And that's why I say Mayo was like, if we was like Rockefeller, I would have been like Jay-Z. Mayo was Dame Dash. He was aggressive, but he meant well. You know what I mean? Yeah. And me, I might have been more so, not even more so business oriented, but I might have been more level headed when it came to like, hey, look, bro, you don't gotta smack him, bro. Like, let me talk to him first, and then you can polish out the financial part of it. But let me please talk to him. And that was the thing where I felt like we didn't have that type of control when we came into the situation with Mac. We had other people representing us and speaking for us, and it just didn't go a certain way, because we had, and not even including the Remember deal, because like I said, we weren't ever signed, but we had like 2 publishing deals that came on the table, and then we also had a contract that came from Nas's Mass Appeal label. That came, and that dropped the ball on that. You know what I mean?
How'd that happen? Like, how did it get dropped?
So the first one, like, and I forget which one came. I know Mass Appeal was the last one, but there was a company called Audible Treats, and I forget where they were out of, but you know the homie Rory Webb?
Sound real familiar.
He was from here, but he ended up working for that company. He ended up leaving Pittsburgh and going to Chicago, and we jumped on their radar, and he was working with them, so we got on their radar. It was like supposed to be not like actual deal, but they wanted to help us with some publishing. Okay. I forget what happened with that. It didn't go through. Then there was another one with Nature Sounds. They had like some members from Wu-Tang, some other like older New York cats at the time. They were helping. But then that one, I think with that particular one, the numbers just didn't really add up or didn't, for what we were doing, we were like, thanks, but no thanks. We're going to pass on that one. The Mass Appeal one came around, and that was when this was 2014, I believe.
So this was still while you were rocking with Remember Music.
Yeah. This is like right as Remember's about to jump off. Like up until that point, it was still Most Dope, and he's about to jump into the Remember Music. So they reached out to him and his representation, his lawyers, as well as the person we had representing us from Mac's side. And we were like, yeah, Nas, yeah. At this time, they had Fashawn from the West Coast, a young Dave East. We're like, that's why I'm like, this is the demographic. Yeah. If we gonna jump ship or we gonna go take another opportunity, this is the golden ticket right here, bro. This is what we should do. Vinny was on deck with it, and looking back, cause I still got the contract in my email. I like kind of look at it sometimes just to like, knowing what I know now, opposed to then, and just talking to other people, letting people see it. It wasn't the best deal, but I looked at it as a stepping stone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we was already not really getting no bread over here at this situation and making the most out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, Vinny had a job at the time, so he's pulling in bread where we doing shit. I'm, doing what I'm doing at the time, so we're collectively making shit shake. And then, we had Mac helping us with studio time, of course. But other than that, we wasn't, had no advance or no Most Dope or Remember Music chains or nothing crazy like that. You know what I mean? We was kind of just making it shake how it was. And long story short, we went back and forth with them for like a month and a half. And basically the person we had representing us from Mac's side, he was just like, in a nutshell, like, yeah, they're not really on our line enough. If they really wanted y'all, they would be, beating our line down, coming to get y'all, da-da-da-da. So we don't think we're going to run with that. But my thing was like, y'all didn't shop them to us. They reached out to y'all to get us. But I always look at it like, looking back on it, like I said, from 2012 to 2016, they were handling all of our recording, any recording we did here, and any flights we took or had to go, whether it was to go from LA or we caught a flight off of one of the tours once or twice. So in a nutshell, Mac didn't really spend a lot of money on us. So I looked at it like, and this is just what my assumption or what I took from it. When they wanted us, when Mass Appeal sent that contract that I dealt through and they wanted us, they was either gonna get us for dirt cheap or, nothing at all. Nas and his people would have been like, oh, just the studio sessions from this time. And mind you, we was from 2012, that's what, 4 or 5 years? 4 years, like a college term, like he was paying for our stuff. We made tons of music. We didn't go and, like, we booked a session for 4 hours. We wasn't going in there and just like, all right, turn the beat on, Jern. We gonna cook something up. No, we're coming into a 4-hour session with 12 songs already written.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And we're probably getting 10 of them done. You know what I mean? In one session. So we wasn't bullshitting on his money. You know what I mean? Because I knew, like, I came from, before anything ever came out of your pocket, Henny and Hayes, Schizophrenic Mindset, Perfect Storm, everything we did up to this point, we was coming out of pocket. Like, you know what I mean? We was dudes who was played in the streets, all had jobs. So I know that it took money to make money. You know what I mean? We're on your time, I'm not gonna play around just because you got the budget open where Fran and Vinny's recording, it's on me, da-da-da, yeah, whatever. So again, every session we're going in there, we're coming out with a plethora of songs. So we'd have probably got up off of them dirt cheap, you know what I mean? And I just think, rest in peace. And I don't, like I said, I don't want this to come off like I have a discrepancy, because I don't. That's my brother. I love him, miss him to death. And I know he's probably looking down and, happy with what we continue to do. But I just don't feel like, there was a lot of times that I felt like he didn't want us to be next to him or go above him. You know what I mean? Like, And I feel that a lot of ways with a lot of local artists too. And I mean, he was much bigger than a local artist at that point, but even just the bravado of certain people, like when you're dealing with them, like that they don't want you to be next to them or above them. It's like, hence why people always ask, like, you was never on none of Mac's albums? No. Why not? It's a question I don't ask. I sat in on sessions on every album he had, from Kids to his last, well, not his last album because he was in LA doing swimming, but from Kids to Good AM. Right. I sat in on every album. I don't have one verse on them.
I didn't even know that. Before you told me that, like just now, if you would have asked me, if somebody else would have asked me, yo, is franchise on one? Yeah, definitely, you gotta be.
So let me back up and let me not discredit anybody. I was on a song, me and Vinny, the Come Up is on a song on his I Love Life Thank You EP called Boom Bap Rap. Okay. So we was on Boom Bap Rap, but I'm appreciative and thankful, but that was like a side project he put out. It wasn't like a verse I recorded for the High Life that he didn't use, or a verse that Vinny might have used on. Vinny had a jam with Chief Keef on the Good AM album, and then when the Good AM album came, Vinny's verse was clipped, but Chief Keef was on it.
Yeah, I wonder if, like, I've experienced similar things. So, like, I have this story that when I tell it, most people don't understand how it works. I feel like you might understand it a little bit just because you experienced that. Mm-hmm. So, me and my team, when I was in Atlanta, we got a call. Rewind a little bit. So, 2003, my homie used to produce for Bad Boy. Was a promoter and producer that worked with Bad Boy. Back in Pittsburgh, went by the name of Johnny Handsome. A lot of people from back in the 90s know who he is. Okay. But 2003, he gave me a call from Jersey. He was staying in Jersey. He was like, bro, I got an idea. I want to remix this 50 Cent song in the club. This is when In the Club was like in all the mixtapes and stuff.
Going crazy.
Yeah. So he came to pick me up. We moved down there. It was literally a couple days after New Year, 2003. We wrote the song together. So like he had an idea of how he wanted it to be. I took it and turned it like into a rap, basically. I had my Roland VSA 48 track. Mm-hmm. I spit it, and then we got with SWV's Lily, the singer, light-skinned girl from SWV, her little sister. We got her to rap on it. Okay. We promoted that song everywhere. We sent it to every DJ, every club, like hand to hand. Sometimes it was, here's $20, play this, or take this, put it on your mixtape. What do you think? You know, radio stations, everything. Mm-hmm. It got to a point to where we ended up working with Shaquille O'Neal and Shaquille O'Neal's record label. DJ J Nice, who was the president of Shaquille O'Neal's record label, or vice president or something like that at the time, was like the homie. Yeah. DJ J Nice is plugged in like everywhere, every major label and stuff. Mm-hmm. So once everybody started finding out that we're the ones behind this remix is going crazy, the female version of In the Club, J Records hit up Jay like, yo, can you do a remix for Monica So Gone? Jay contacts me. He's like, bro, I got the acapella and the instrumental, and I don't know if it was out already or if it was just a promo or something like that, but he was like, yo, J Records called, we need you to remix this. So I took the beat. Missy originally did the beat. Mm-hmm. I took the beat and I chopped it up and replayed it in a completely different way.
Mm-hmm. So Gone.
Yeah, So Gone. I spit over it. My homie spit over it. We gave it to Jay, and Jay started playing it, and me and my homie Sean and Johnny Handsome, my bro, we looking at each other like, yo, this is hot. This is crazy. Like, we need to put this shit out. Yeah. So we did the same thing. We went around and put it out everywhere. Mm-hmm. Big mistake. J Records called, cease and desist. Like, y'all need to chill. So apparently, all the record labels, DJs, was calling J Records like, yo, is this the official remix? When are y'all putting this song out? Mm-hmm. J Records like, no, we have no idea what you're talking about. Because I don't know if Jay Nice, like if he gave him the one that we did or if he was waiting for something or something like that. But they ended up doing, she had a remix over the Benita Applebum beat with featuring Busta Rhymes. That was the one they put out. And to some extent, somehow, what we did hurt their album sales.
Wow.
Because it was such a popular thing and such a controversy that, yeah, like people were looking for our version of it. And J Records was like, nah, y'all ain't do it right. We don't know who y'all are. I think that was the biggest thing.
Okay.
Because we were rapping on it. And they're like, no, we want Busta Rhymes. We're going to do this. And pretty sure we hurt their album sales. But that's to speak to, you know, having a song, working with a major, it not being released for God knows what, you know.
Yeah.
Then because it's me, no one knows me, therefore it's not released. And then it all happened long before the internet was really big enough to, you know, catalog it. So when I tell people the story, oh yeah, well, where's it at? What website? Where can I read about it? Like, no, we talking about, this was like
21 years ago.
Yeah, before MySpace even. This is like Black Planet days.
Yeah. Back in the day, yeah. I remember them Black Planet days.
Man, bro. I was a little long-winded, my bad.
No, good, you good. You good, man.
What is Franchise up to these days?
Man, still creating, bro. Like, said we had dropped In Good Hands 2, April, literally 2024, so 2 years ago.
I can't remember what it was. It was within the past year. You dropped something that I don't know if I downloaded or I went to Spotify, but I was rocking with it.
It's probably, because I didn't drop anything last year. 2025 was a crazy, like, year personally for me, just, like, outside of music, so I kind of wasn't really cooking. But, yeah, 2024, literally April, so 2 years on it now.
It could have been.
Me and Vinny did with Big Germ, In Good Hands 2, and that was our first project back together in 9 years. So yeah, like literally pretty much after the Good AM tour, which was 2015, Vinny kind of took like I don't want to say hiatus because he was still like slowly making stuff like to himself, but I went back into solo mode. So 2016 I dropped something, 2017 I did, but 2018, 2019 through the pandemic, and my last solo project I did, which was Ghetto Luxury, I dropped in September 2022. And currently I'm working on the second installment of my Woody Half House project. I dropped the first one in 2019. But it's cool because this one is more like customized. That the first Woody Half House I did, it was more so like, in comparison, like Nas's album, The Lost Tapes, which I knew he dropped around the time he had dropped Stillmatic, which it was like a bunch of, to my knowledge, like a bunch of records that didn't make the Stillmatic album and stuff he had in the cut. Yeah. So that same year, to speak to my process, 2019, I dropped All Sales Final, an album called All Sales Final that July, but I dropped Woody Half House that February, but it was just so I could have something together. So them tracks was from literally like 2010 up to 2019 at the time, just a bunch of stuff I had. But this one, I'm actually back like recording. It's all the material is fresh, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Just because, like I said, it'll been 4 years since I did something solo.
Was there, I wanna pick up on that, like put a pin in that for a sec, but you said after the Good AM tour, Vinny kind of...
Yeah, he kind of...
Was there something that happened on the Good AM tour or any significance that made y'all feel like that's it, like we ain't rocking with this? Or was it something else, like maybe Max passing or something where y'all was just like, all right, we're going to shift?
Nah, well, because like I said, that was in 2015 and Bro passed in 2018.
Yeah.
So I just know personally, like, the Mass Appeal situation kind of both had me and Vinny like, I thought we was on the same page, but maybe not, you know what I mean? And simultaneously, like, after the Good AM tour, we stopped getting the invites to come on the tour, you know what I mean? Well, I think he only had one tour even after that.
But y'all didn't get an invite.
But we, and which we didn't really like, take no offense to that or nothing, because I understand, bro. Like, we've been blessed to do what we did with you, but also at the same token, people don't know or maybe not remember that even while the come up was still moving, me and Vinny were still doing, like, there was never like, bro, we doing this, you can't do solo stuff. Vinny had a project with the homie from back around the way, P-Fish, called Broke. I had a project with one of the homies from the Bay Area, Crushing on Cali. And Vinny was getting into a pocket of music where he was experimenting a lot. He was messing with a lot of melodies, some auto-tune stuff, like really like broadening his horizon just with his musicality. And, at the time, again, the people we got representing us on the Most Dope Remember side, I just don't think, I know this particular person didn't see the vision. And not saying that he went like out of his way to shit on Vinny, but he kind of like made it clear like, nah, I ain't feeling this, or we ain't gonna put this out that way. And that kind of like, when you're a creative, especially like, it goes back to like, Vinny's a creative, but he's also like a super intellectual, intelligent, like wise motherfucker. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I've been rhyming with him since 2002. I seen him write on a paper one time.
Wow.
One, not even a full verse. This is in the Punchline era when we was rapping with these two dudes from Wilkinsburg. And they come down metaphoring the track to life, you know what I mean? Where Vinny felt like he had to kind of keep up. So he wrote like 4, maybe 5 bars and was like, all right, I'm cool. Other than that, like I've seen him, he's created albums. Just like, he got this thing where he'll swing. I know you're gonna see this and crack up, but this is how much I know my brother. Like, we sit in a room and we're creating, and I've done it with him a million times. Like, he'll have a clothes hanger, and this is just his thing. He'll swirl the clothes hanger around and be pacing the room. We're just like, you hear him like, he's on the couch, but he's got this clothes hanger, messing with this clothes hanger. 15 minutes later, he's like, play the beat back. Let me hear what you think about this. Like 10, 15 minutes later, and that's how he's always made his music, bro. And like, I just think when he was getting into that different zone and experimenting, bro, like it felt like you saying that you don't like this or we ain't gonna move out with this as the single. It's like, damn, do you think I'm garbage? Do you think, you know what I mean? And it's been proven, like, and that goes to say where I feel like too, like, I feel like a lot of people think that because this is how Wiz succeeded or this is how Max succeeded, that your success is gonna be the same. It's like, bruh, he got a whole different vibe, bro. Yeah. His story is way different, bro. Like, kudos to him, but bro, this is my lane, this is where I'm going, and I just don't think people saw the vision. And again, I'm speaking for Vinny, he could tell you something different, but I know to a degree that it was just like, bro, like, I'm kind of cool, like, bro, they kind of turned me down on what I was doing here, then the situation with Massive Pill didn't go. Yeah. I don't know, bro, like, and at that time I was just in a mode where, like, I'm not forcing Vinny to do anything, bro. I'm like, I'm ready. I'm here when you ready, when you need me. I'm ready to rock. But I continued. You know what I mean? Once he was like, I'm cool. I was like, all right, bro. I'm gonna go do some more solo shit if that's cool. He's, oh yeah, it's cool. And he was on still after, because that project was Visions from the Pacific from us, the last one we did. And then from there he was on damn near. He was on every solo project I had. From that, so it wasn't like he wasn't always with me, but it was just like he kind of took his time to be like, man, let me regroup, let me see what I want to do, you know what I mean? And that's where you got the In Good Hands too in 2024.
Is there like, based on this understanding, and because like not every artist understands the business side and what's going on with their career as they're into it. Mm-hmm. So like, I got friends that like Black Rob, for example, he passed away.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. But he was a homie of mine. Mm-hmm. He wasn't very familiar with like the business aspect of what his situation was.
Yeah.
to be able to articulate it and say, because I experienced all this with Bad Boy and P. Diddy, now I'm able to do X, Y, Z. You know what I mean? Sitting here talking to you, you sound like you understand.
Now.
Yeah, now.
Yeah.
Is there something stopping you from starting your own label or machine somehow to go on and do that? Like from a business standpoint?
No, not really. I feel like, again, I was thinking like with like the recording, like it's crazy. Like I used to go into a project, like how I said, What Do You Have Files 2 is what I'm currently working on. Like I will go into a project like and say, I plan on putting 13 songs on it. I might record 23 and that would be my thing. You know what I mean? But now I'm more so at a point where I've noticed, at least with this project I've been working on, because I wasn't really able to write last year, just writer's block and things pulling me different directions. But this one, it's like, I'm just going with what feels good. If I write 20 songs and use 14 of them, cool. If I write 15 and use all 15, that's what sounded good, you know what I mean? And I just think I'm at a point where I put a lot of effort into like helping other people's situation, you know what I mean? And I kind of just wanted to take time to do my own thing. Like during the pandemic, I got like the Braddock on Broadway movement where I put out 2 compilations with that, you know what I'm saying? And homies from around the way probably don't know or don't care to acknowledge this, but that Braddock on Broadway movement was built on when we would be on those tours with Mac or we're doing certain things that look lit to people. Like, damn, bro, we gotta get up here with you. We gotta do this. So I built the Braddock on Broadway thing off of the Eastern Empire, off of the 58s. I mean, it's not really groups, but it's just me showcasing people from my area, my talent, from my section, my area. You know what I mean? But then I found myself, like, going through that process. Like, I'm the one paying for the artwork. I'm the one having to beat down people's lines 5-6 times a month, like, bro, and it's only one track. Like, it's like I only need. I mean, if you got 2, send 2. But it's like, bro, I shouldn't have to call you 5-6 times to get 2 songs out of you that I know you got. You got 2 songs, and you're not even as active as me with music, and you're the one who's like, bro, I gotta get on your. Well, here, look, bro, I'm putting something together. Send me a track. But then I'm still a month later, like, yo, bro, you said you was gonna you said you was gonna send a track. Then it's like putting an album release party together. It's like, I gotta find the venue. I gotta pay the DJ. I gotta pay the venue. I got to be on Boys Line. Bro, make sure, the set start at 8:30. Boys is walking in at 8:25. Like, I'm done called them 2 times, don't answer. And it's like, sometimes that gets a little tiresome.
Sometimes.
Yeah, not even some. I'm being, cordial.
That's it, 100%.
So just for my fault, but that's where you said, like, just from starting something, like, that's kind of where I'm like, kind of standoffish. I kind of got like my guard like to it because boys have even asked like, when's a Braddock on Broadway Part 3 coming? I was like, probably never. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's like, if it ain't a collaborative effort, bro, it'd be like, I'm doing so much to do it, and it's like I enjoy doing it because it's just like another project. But it's like I get to thinking like, I'm putting all of this project in my head, and it's like, I'm putting all of this energy into this project and into this when it's like, I've been wanting to do What He Have Files 2. I've been wanting to do, I got another album, Built to Last, it's like the follow-up to Corner the Market and All Sales Final. I want to do Built to Last after this. But if I'm putting energy into Braddock on Broadway or my cousin's music or my brother's music or this, it's like,
spread too thin.
Yeah, and it's like I could be putting that energy into something I've been wanting to do, bro, because ain't nobody gonna do it but me.
What about the like the networking and tour type stuff? So like when you put out a project, like, contacting people in DC, Maryland, or whatever to go perform, like outside of the recording the music, making the music available to people, recording the video, uploading the video, do you still have a desire and like a goal of doing all the extra stuff that you used to do, like touring around and visiting different cities and
Yeah, I do.
Selling merch and stuff?
Yeah, I do. And with the merch, like, that's another thing I learned, like, through the process of touring and just, like, even during the pandemic, when that was happening, like, I never really used to do, well, it was a different time, too, like, with Henny and Hayes and the 58's time, but now, like, every time I do a project, I always do merchandise now because I always tell my guys, like, bro, there's so many other ways than the music that, you know, you can gain some traction out here. It's like, bro, like the merchandise, you know what I mean? On the side, doing podcasts, having a podcast, doing an interview. So I'm always like, you know, trying to be like attentive on that scale of it and that side of it. But like even just as far as the network getting out, I'm real good at keeping up with the people I've touched base with. So like even outside of music, like, you know, I'll chime in on people like, yo, what's up, bro? Just checking your pulse, man. How's family doing? How's everybody doing? And I think like that goes a long way from what you were saying, just like the respect I had because, bro, I come with respect, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Where it's like, I think that always outlasts just like what you can do for somebody as far as talent-wise or the music-wise. I'm respectful, bro, you know. I was raised in certain ways, like you lead with that respect and, you know, everybody don't like me and I understand that. And I'm not asking for that, but at the end of the day, respect me because I ain't disrespect you, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, just as far as networking, bro, it's like, yeah, I definitely do have the desire to be out there still and in the field like that. But I do understand me doing it on my own. These things have to be set up in a timely fashion. You know what I mean? I gotta touch base months before and set things up, kind of fill it out, see what I can do and what I can't do. And you know, some things just happen. Like I might not be able to get to Seattle and do a run over there at this time because I got this going on, you know what I mean? So I might have to hit y'all in the fall, but I got to be on this side, you know, a little closer to this side. But yeah, man, shows, merchandise, those are definitely things like looking for in the near future for doing, like just definitely promoting this. I'm still even promoting the Come Up, the In Good Hands 2 project, you know. We got 2 videos out from that we've been pushing. We was trying to do another one like once the weather broke, because it's like more of a summer type of feel. Yeah. But again, you know, pushing that, rocking with Vinny on that, and then I said like gearing up for the Woody Half House too, which I'm probably gonna drop. Plan on dropping it like mid-June, but no later than July.
Okay.
And I'm like halfway through the recording process.
I had to look into that. I'm gonna definitely pay closer attention. I be doing so much, moving so fast. A lot of times, like I just be missing stuff.
Nah, I understood, man.
Like it's, I don't know.
Yeah, understood, life.
Bro. So all these like magnificent experiences, right? And still got the art. For me, I have trouble these days as a creative. I have issues being inspired and finding the motivation to create. So like in my studio right now, I got a studio that's like on the opposite side of the house from my bedroom. So I sit in there and I'm editing clips for the podcast. And as I'm editing, right next to me, I got my MPC Renaissance, got an ASRX Pro, got an MPC 2000 XL. Got a Mackie mixing board, Cord Triton, just
whole setup,
surrounded by it, right? Yeah. And I'm like, oh man, I should hurry up and edit this, maybe play around with some beats or something. I got all my vinyl like under the table. Yeah. And I try to get into it, and you know, I'm listening to samples and stuff, and then the moment just fades, and it's like I can't hear nothing, I don't feel nothing. Yeah. And normal life kicks in. You know, wife walks in with dinner for me, kids is fighting just behind me, and you know, it's 9:30 and I'm realizing I need to go to bed so I could be up on time for work. And knowing that you're a married man, I don't know your personal situation, but I'm at least feeling like you have some similarities in having a normal life. And at this age now, being like a grown man that's married with a family, how do you interweave that with your creativity?
So, I will say, like, I got a lot of leeway with wifey. Like, you know, I came to her this way, so she understands, you know what I mean? And that's why I love that queen, love that woman to death, because, you know, she she took what came with me, and she understands like what I do, and I always say this is my purpose, what I was here to do. I'm an entertainer. Yeah. So leeway-wise, she's very supportive in me doing my thing, and if I need to lock in, I got the man cave in the back room. You know me, like I know, like it's funny because I was telling Germ, I was going over some stuff with him last night, and I was like, yeah, I need 2 more beats to finish this album because I got everything in place. It literally like I'm missing number 2 and number 11 on the track list. So I'm at a point where like I know exactly what beats I got. Like coming here an hour before, I'm smoking, listening to the beats, and I'm just like, I'm back there, and she's coming back there the past 2-3 days, and like she's saying stuff to me, but I'm like, yeah. She's like, all right, my fault. But she could almost tell like I'm in that mode where I'm trying to finish this up, so I'm so locked in. But like I told her the other day, something happened, and she's like, yeah, I'm just frustrated. And I'm like, yeah, I'm frustrated too. She's like, what's the matter? Like, what's up? I was like, feel like I just been in the back room listening to beats for hours and I can't find it. You know what I mean? It's like frustrating. But then to your point too, like it happens so similar. Like literally, like I have to be up at 5 in the morning to go to the 9 to 5 and get that bag for the film. And when I get off, what I'll do is, as soon as I get home, roll up something, smoke, just to kind of gather my thoughts. But what I need to be doing is while I'm smoking and rolling up is turning on the beats and really get inspired. I'll go Facebook Live and talk to the people smoking. By the time the joint is done, she's like, dinner's almost done. I'm going down there to get dinner. And she's watching something. We might watch something, or baby girl, my daughter, riffing, or she's going through something. So I might have to, sit with her or, chop it with her. Before I know it, it'd be like 8:30, 9 o'clock, and then it's like you said, like, bro, I don't know, bro, like there ain't enough time in the day, but like I said, I get jaded, I get crossfaded a lot when instead of me turning on the live while I'm smoking, turn on the music, you know what I'm saying, and really lock in, because I do come to find that like when I actually focus and put my mind to it, bro, stuff kind of comes easy. But I realize also on the same token, as I'm older, I be wanting to talk about like, I'm not just flossing or just like rappity rapping or like metaphor in your head out the box, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like on this album, I'm having fun and the grooves is up. It's not depressed or like too happy, but I'm touching on real aspects. Like on the intro, I talk about my diabetes situation, the A1C levels. I'm talking about being a married man and how challenges or temptations or just the different things.
The project you working on now?
Yeah.
Oh, I need that.
Yeah, I'm talking about
man.
Yeah, bro. I'm like, it's big boy raps. Like I'm really, I'm not just like, just like I said, just so turned up. Like, oh, this is a turn up song or this is my anthem song. Like I've got a lot of grooves on it that's like, okay, I like this rap, but like I got stuff on there, like a good amount of stuff, even in the happy-go-lucky stuff, where it's like, oh, that was a gem. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, he talked about. I said something like, ladies man used to sweep baddies out of the section. I'm hubby status now, peep me flexing, and you know what I mean? I'm like talking about a real, like I'm kind of like, damn, I was this person, I was this man, and now I'm changed, but I'm still here, So I'm touching on, like you said, more grown man issues. And that was like, even once I got my pistons moving, like around January, and I started getting into the groove, and as I started writing more stuff as the weeks, I'm like, yeah, this feels different than the Ghetto Luxury. Like, looking on that too, Ghetto Luxury, and then the project I had before that, 33, I'm proud of them, but they're more so, if I look at them now, they were more like pandemic projects. Because, we didn't have, like, studios. You couldn't go a lot of places. Some studios weren't open or super. So I took advantage of doing features with a lot of people I meant to do music with at those times. So those projects, I think, every track on Ghetto Luxury has a feature. Like, I even got my intro on there. I'm not even on it. I got 3 people on it, and I just intro their names, like, hyped them up. 33, I think, out of 10 songs, I had 6 features and only 4 solo jams, you know what I mean? So I just took advantage of that, but this one is more so where I'm back like, no, I'm challenging myself. And I got features on this one, but I'm more so challenging myself like, Not even much so lyrically, but just topic-wise. You know what I mean?
Is there a significance between like recording with Germ versus going and buying like your own Pro Tools setup in your house?
Yeah and no. I'm just personally comfortable with Germ because I've been, cooking with him. And I always say like engineers to me are like barbers, bro. You go to 5 different barbers, your hairline will get pushed back at some point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You go to 5 different engineers, one of them ain't gonna have the sound that you're looking for. You know what I mean? So I just I'm comfortable with Germ, and he knows what he's doing, and I trust in him. Like Phil Jackson and Jordan. You know what I mean? Like he's the coach, I'm the player. So I look at it like that. But Vinny got a at-home setup where he brought it down to the crib a few times and we messed around. And I definitely, even during the pandemic, I was definitely like really close to buying it, but I ended up using my money and doing something else. But it's still not off the table for me, just because being sharp, it would help me do demos for when I actually do demos, or if I needed to drop something or get a verse right away, could do something and send it off and get it mixed. But I just like the aesthetic of going to the studio too, man.
Yeah.
That's
definitely a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, like getting out of cause like in my man cave is where I write it, and it's like a small room. It's probably not as wide as this, but like longer. But it's just like literally like if you seen it, you'd be like, oh, this is everybody who comes in there for the first time, you'd be like, oh yeah, this is where you be getting busy. I'd be like, yeah, absolutely. Like, you know what I mean? But after the magic is done, it's like, all right, I wrote it up here and I done spit it back to myself several times. Like, now I got to go out the crib and record it so I could, be around different energy.
Man.
But I'm not opposed to it though.
We've been chopping it up. It's been about 3 hours now.
Hey man, good talk.
Man, and it don't even feel like I got tons more questions. We gonna have to do this again. Man.
Oh man, bro. Like I said, man, you got my number. My line is open. I appreciate you, bro.
That, and once again, my wheels is turning. I've always been a big like kumbaya, everybody join in kind of guy. Yeah. Where I've been asking this question of like, how can we form an Avengers team? How can we efficiently form a company, a record label that actually does it, where it's not egos bumping heads. It's literally Voltron, like individual parts or people that know what they doing, that have the experience, and we all work together to do something significant. And every time I have those conversations with people, I almost always run into someone that thinks they don't have ego, but does. But here, sitting at this table across from people, I talk to people such as yourself that I don't really get much of that ego. And I hear a lot of experience, knowledge, know-how, love for the art, love for the creativity. And then my wheels get to turning like, yo, if I could get bro franchise working with Bus Crates, we might be able to record with Achilles soon, and we could hit up Germ, and I could get, Jessica to do some PR work, and I'm just connecting these dots like, man, some magic.
Shout out to Bus Crates, man, because he's one of the ones that I wanted to work with him for so long. I mean, and he knows. I just feel like we just never made it connect. But like, anytime I seen him, it's always all love, much respect, and shout out to Bus Crates, man. He's an incredible with what he does, bro.
Joe, and I knew, like, to me, it's bro, like big bro kind of.
Yeah, likewise.
And because we go like way back to when we was like teenagers for real. Yeah. And he's a little bit older than me though. Yeah. And hearing all this stuff about him making music and vinyl and stuff, I'm like, yeah, like he doing it. Yeah. I didn't realize, I did the interview with him. It's literally like my top #1 watch podcast still. Yeah,
because I know he's very knowledgeable.
Not even just that, his fan base is like a cult. Like they seek him out, and
that's what's up.
Man, like,
great dude, man.
Great dude, great energy, knowledgeable. Just like, he's one of those people that just to be around them feels like a blessing.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Energy is always where it should be, bro.
Yeah.
And you said Jessica PR?
Yeah. Jessica Abraham.
I didn't grow up with her.
Yeah.
But she went to Woodland Hills for a period of time.
From New Ken?
Yeah, but
Went to Full Sail?
yeah, she lived literally she lived a street behind my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, in East Pittsburgh.
That is my partner.
Yeah, so I know she'll tell you she knows me since I was probably 16, 15 years old, bro.
That's what's up.
She caught my bus and everything.
I don't even know if I told her I was interviewing you today. I might have. But she's literally my 50-50 partner on the podcast.
Okay, yeah. Bro, I was at her crib when she lived on Franklin and East Pittsburgh and everything.
Yeah?
Yeah, man.
I'm about to tell her.
You stayed in New Kensington?
Yeah, my dad, so my dad lived in New Ken like for most of my younger life. So I went to Valley High School.
Okay, yeah. I had cousins who lived out there.
Yeah.
New Ken is a funny thing because it's like, I feel like coming up, like Braddock people always like, that was like their duck off area. Like they migrated out there. So like I had a little cousin, my uncle's son, he moved out there with his mom, his little sister, and his older brother. And they moved out there. Then my older cousin, Josh, man, I guess when he got out New Ken, he went by the name Tweet. But
that sounds familiar.
Yeah, Josh Broadnax, he moved out there. And then two of my other little cousins, Maurice and Marlon, they was out there. My cousin now, D Nice, one of the ones who I said he had the karaoke machine. I first started rhyming.
Yeah.
He lives out there now. So it was funny. I always was taking trips to New Kensington, and I had just took my son out there 2 weeks ago record shopping. They got a record store out there.
Yeah?
Yeah, in New Kensington. And he was like, how you know all this stuff about New Ken, Dad? I was like, we always had cousins who was coming out here. So I remember back in the day, my cousins lived in Willow Court, the projects where the basketball court used to be. Next to the police station.
Down JFK.
Yeah, by the police station.
So it wasn't always a police station. It used to be a school. I went to elementary school there.
Okay. See, so yeah, when they first moved out there, it probably was a school at that time because they moved out there like 98, 99.
I think it was a police station by then. We talking
okay, back before then.
80s, early 90s.
Okay, yeah, because they was definitely out there like.
So they lived in the projects by the basketball court.
Yeah, literally like it's not there now, like, but like literally like if you were standing on that basketball court, on that court,
facing
like,
away from the police station.
Yeah, away from the police station. Their crib was like, their section was called Willow Court right here. Yeah. It's boarded up now.
I lived when I was a kid, and we talking, this is like first grade, kindergarten, somewhere around there. In the projects, it's like right where Universe is, building called Amherst.
Okay, yeah, I know where Amherst is. Yeah, yep. But they lived on a couple places. Like my other cousin, he lived on 5th. But my cousins who lived in the projects, they lived on like Leasham, Victoria, Kenneth. They lived all up there through New
You
Kent.
probably know somebody in my family. I got a lot of family out there. Cousins, my brothers, sisters.
Okay, yeah.
Bunch of people.
Like I said, I didn't know a lot of people out there, but throughout the years from going out there, just mingling with people. When I went out, took my son out there record shopping, I had never known where that studio was out there, and I drove past. I was like, "Oh, that's where that studio was in New Ken." I see they had like some painting on it, like on the outside of the building. And I'm like, "Okay."
I'm not even familiar. I've only been to a couple studios here in Pittsburgh. Matter of fact, I think I probably only recorded it like one or two. I've been to Audiomation and Soundscape. I used to intern at Soundscape.
Soundscape, okay.
Yeah. There was a dude, a rapper I used to work with. His name was Insipso. It was something weird. I can't think of his name. I used to work with out there. But yeah, that's it. Like I never recorded in ID Labs. I've been down there, the old ID Labs, a couple times with 2004, the first time I heard the government. And then I went down there with Worthwhile and Jordan York once. Rest
in peace to Worthwhile.
Yeah. And Mayo. I meant to say this too. Rest in peace to Mayo. He didn't bully me when you was talking about he's like Dave Dash. He never bullied me, but I certainly got a situation with him that I did not like.
Yeah.
It was like, and it's not speaking nothing bad on him at all, but there was a girl at my studio, and he came over to my studio to buy some beats. It was in my crib. And I'm selling him beats, and he's trying to talk to the girl, and I'm like, chill, like, I'm talking to her. Like,
Yeah.
And he like, yeah, okay. But just like kept going, ignoring me. Like,
Yeah.
All right,
He had that type of energy to him. Like I said, he was a funny dude. I say that to say, well, I said like I know he rubbed people the wrong way because there was one of the homies in the scene. He was with Commonwealth family at the time.
Okay.
R.I. Double.
Okay.
And that's my guy.
Yeah, that's bro.
Yeah, that's my guy. So I had seen R.I. Double one time, and I guess Mayo had stole off of him. And then, remember the camera dude, Brandon Dahl?
Yeah.
Mayo had stole off on R.I., chased Brandon Dahl halfway down East Course and, beat him up, took some shit off of him. But I remember we had did a show probably like a weekend later after all of that had happened. But I walk in with, Vinny, B. White, Mayo, Vils, Ghosty, at one, Z Lounge, or one of them lounges on Carson. It's popping in there. We step in. They 58's in the building, it's lit. And it was one of R.I.'s shows. So I'm like, yo, what's good? Now, mind you, I knew about him chasing Dahl down, but I didn't know that R.I. Double was in there. And I'm like, he's like, yo, what's going on? I'm like, he's like, yeah, man, would have loved to have you guys a part of the show, but there's some guys on your team that aren't too nice. And I'm just like, all right. No doubt. I appreciate the look, you know what I mean? But then somewhere in that night or later after, I was able to collect it from Mayo, like, yeah, punch that boy too, boy. Yeah, boys want to get in the way, boys can get it. And it's like, he had that, like...
McKee's Fort.
Yeah, like, if you wasn't with him, if you wasn't with us, you was against us in his mind. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I appreciated that in certain aspects because I know where we come from, but it's like you said, there's business and there's personal too, you know what I mean? But nevertheless, rest in peace to Mayo. I miss him, man. He was a character, man, to say the least. But that was my bro.
Yeah, he was definitely a good dude, man. I'm gonna have to after this, I'm gonna definitely have to hit you up. There's a few people that I know probably on your side of things more so I need to get in contact with. I cannot get in touch with B. White.
I can't.
For real?
He did. We had him in the In Good Hands 2 sessions. Yeah. And he was recording with Germ too. Germ was like, yeah, B hits me up randomly and say he's gonna come through. I send him beats, you know what I mean? Like he'll send me a song back over one of my beats and then I don't hear from him. So we was having him in the sessions. He recorded. We got a song on In Good Hands 2 with B. He laid a verse for us, which was fire. Surprisingly, it's like one of the when I look up the analytics on my Spotify and all that, because it's the most 58's hip hop sound and jam on there, but it got the most hits. He did that verse for us. He did another verse that we were supposed to get on, but we kind of he laid his verse and we didn't get to it. And then he was like, yeah, boy, we got to keep this going. I miss being in with y'all boys. I'm like, yeah, we likewise. Man, we tried to get him back in. Couldn't get him in. We did a show. We did the release party for In Good Hands too. I'm teasing the idea leading up, what y'all want to see us perform? Renaissance Men, B. White, Renaissance Men. I hit him up, he's like, boy, I'm 40 years old, boy. Don't nobody want to see this. So, man, y'all got it. Yo. And from that point, I ain't heard from him. He changed, I don't know if he changed his number or something. I done hit him up just even checking his pulse, yo, bro, what's up? You good? Nothing. So, I tag him on Facebook, because I'll go do Throwback Thursdays and tag 58 stuff for stuff with me and him. Yeah. He don't comment back on it, but, B's always been good. He's got his own business outside with him and his older brother. So, he always been good, man. And I just know with him, too, Mayo passing away took a chunk out of him.
I could tell.
Because he's the one. That's why I say, and not taking nothing away from none of the 58's members lyrically, but that's why I say if it was Rockefeller, I was the Jay-Z, Mayo was the Dame Dash, because we were the most attentive, you know what I mean? We were the guys keeping things like, all right, this is what we doing, or bro, what you think about this? Okay, boom. B. White was always, and Vinny's kind of like this way, but B. White was definitely more so like, I just rap, boy, just ask Mayo for it. That's what we doing, Mayo, did Mayo do that? So like, it was almost like a Jordan and Pippen thing with Mayo and B. White, bro. Like, B. White kind of always needed Mayo in a sense, bro. And not saying, like I said, nothing lyrically, because B. White raps in his leisure and just can rap with his eyes closed, bro. Like, but just I think the motivation, bro. Like when you was feeling down, Mayo was that one. Like, what, boy? You're the sickest, boy. Ain't nobody rapping like you, boy. We'll go up there and out rap them, boy. We gonna do this. I'll put 100,000 down on this, boy. What? And when I just know when Mayo or B. White didn't have that, it was easy for him to be like, I don't care. I'm 40 years old. I don't care about performing with y'all. I did the song. Y'all got it.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense a lot. And that, I feel like that might go dip into that narrative of like Pittsburgh is so talented, where a lot of times you have the creative, but the creative is like hard to navigate. You know, like you said, I'm on the phone trying to talk, yo, bro, when you gonna send me the jam? And people just not navigating efficiently, and you need a team of people to line them up. But a lot of times there is no organizing or getting someone organized that don't want to be organized.
100%.
Where when you have a talent like a Mac Miller or Wiz Khalifa that is working 100,000 times around circles, you know, around everybody, and minimal ego that's like soaking up and trying to work with everybody, and you know, just a good person that smiles a lot and happy to be around. Like, those are the people that usually have the most star qualities, you know, that are taken and pulled.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yeah, man.
Final question for you. This is probably most important question, most relevant anyways. Do you feel you're successful?
Yeah, I do. Because I could say today, like, you know, if I lost my vocal cords, you know what I mean? I mean, I would be upset, but I just feel like, and don't get me wrong, there's always room for advancement, always room to level up and go up, which I'm definitely want to do, but you know, when I was first jumping into rap, like making music, bro, like I always thought it would be dope to have a CD that I could hold in my hand. I did that 10 times, you know what I mean? Like, my CD was on shelves. My CD now is on iTunes. So that was things off my bucket list. Torn, you know what I mean? That was stuff we, as 13, 14-year-old Red Hot kids, we dreamed about. That was like a far-fetched dream to like our people, you know what I mean?
Right.
We did that, you know what I mean? Being on MTV, we did that, you know what I mean? People coming out to the shows, supporting, wearing our merchandise, did that, you know what I'm saying? And not saying that it shouldn't keep being like that, but yeah, there's most of the things that I set out to do, I've done them, you know what I mean? So I do, in that way, feel successful. But even on top of that, like I said earlier, bro, like I dropped out of school, you know what I mean? Had kids at a very young age, both of my sons back to back at 17 and 18, which was to say the least, rough navigating at that young of an age to two different women at that. So there's emotion involved in all of this. And I look at it now just with my sons and my baby girl, my daughter, who is to my wife, just even when they go places and I'm not with them and they're wearing Braddock on Broadway, or they're wearing something, or something happens or is mentioned and they're like, oh, that's your dad? Oh, I'm gonna look out because your dad is such a good dude. Your dad, you don't know what he did for me when he made this album, when he made this song, man. He be rhyming. Bro, I used to play football with your dad. So it's like, I feel successful in the fact that, say if I pass away today, that I know I got a village of people. Not saying that I need this because, you know, I'm set up designed a certain way and set up, but like, just knowing that the fact that I put enough good out there, I gave enough respect, did right by people people respect me enough to respect my kids, bro. You know what I mean? And because of what I've done with the mic, like I had people used to just front me weed. I'm throwing weed on me because they'd be like, I know you're a good dude by what you said in your rhymes. I could be a stone cold robber. I could take this pound from you and never see you again. You know what I mean? Yeah. But people have that. I had that type of effect on people, and like I said, I was never that mischievous type of person. Where, like I said, it's dope seeing, you know, my kids reap the benefits of the stuff that I did, even when I didn't make the best decisions. You know, so I do feel successful in that manner. You know. And I think that's, for me, that's the biggest thing, legacy. Yeah. You know, because I can wrap circles around people, and I'm not putting myself above or below, but I'm saying, like, I know what I'm capable of doing, but it's like, if it ain't received or there ain't no legacy behind it, what I do it for? Yeah. You know, because I could spend my time doing something else that would benefit them.
Yeah. You well within right to claim that title of being able to wrap circles around people. Like,
I just try to be.
You know how I judge?
Humble.
I'm trying to be humble. I get it. You know how I judge rappers? I judge rappers by how easy would it be for me to do what you do? Mm-hmm. If I can do what you do, is one thing. Like, is it difficult? Would it take some time? Would I have to study? Like, do I see you as an equal? So it's kind of like my own personal ego looking at myself like I'm a dope-ass artist.
Yeah, yeah.
So if I listen to you and I'm like, oh, shit, like, I never thought to do that, or I would have to sit and study to do that, then you up there with me or higher. Yeah. If it's like, oh, man, I wouldn't even have to think to do that, or why would you do that? Then it's like,
And that goes back to what you said, like, now it's like very hard sometimes to find motivation, because you listen to a lot of stuff today, and again, I'm not naming nobody in particular, but there's a lot of material out here that I'd be like,
I barely listen to the music of today. In fact, there was a period of time where our style of music was fading out, and then like the tours and live performances was like we starting to learn, I guess, around COVID, after COVID, that it's a thing that we will actually show up and purchase. Like, we want to hear our early 2000s, late 90s, and 2010s, like our style of rap still. Like, don't just give us this Lil Uzis and whatever else.
Yeah.
We want to hear our stuff. I need that. And yeah. I say all that to say I'm a fan. Can't wait for the next project.
Nah, bro, I appreciate it, man.
I appreciate you. Thank you very much
for stopping
through, bro.
Yes, sir, man. Definitely appreciate you having me.
Man, huge. I'm going to definitely be in touch.
Man.
I feel like I got 1,000 ideas whenever I get some time, of course. But
oh, for sure, man. Like I said, I know we all busy, got things going on, but again, bro, like, I'm only a hop, skip, and a jump away. Yeah. See, East side guys don't swing out here, man. Like, bro, Pittsburgh ain't that big.
No, it ain't. That's the funny thing, because, like, if this was Detroit, it'd take, like, 45 minutes to get from here to here, everywhere. Pittsburgh, 45 minutes to get over here. People act like, I live in fucking Columbus or some shit.
Bro, like, my guy, Chemical, he's a master chef. He's got a new spot down there in Verona, the High End Lounge. I'm doing promotion for them, but go down there and check him out in Verona, High End Lounge on Leechburg Road. Said I work in McKeesport, so one of the guys I work with was like, I got to go down there and check your homie out. Where you say it's at, in Verona? I was like, He's like, man, that's far, though. I'm like, from to a McKeesport, dude, It's like, everything is far from y'all, because they don't leave the port, you know what I mean? Where it's like, but I'm like, I'm on the east side, so it ain't far from me, you know what I mean? And I don't know. Even if I was in McKeesport, I don't look at Verona as too far. You know what I mean? It's like...
I definitely check it out. Definitely. I'm an east side guy at heart. I'm just out here because good schools and...
bro, trust me. I understand, but like, again, like, it's never too far. Like, that mindset with people here kind of plays my mind. Like,
crazy,
I don't get it.
You know what it is? It's Play Cousin right here, franchise. To come up.
Yes, sir.
I'm Kalaj Dame. See you next time.
talking, but they never take the time. Truth in my chest, I don't sugarcoat pain. If you sitting at the table, you gotta show your face. Conversations deeper than the surface, we've been shown. Ain't here to sell a dream, just to show you what I know. Every voice matters, every story got away. If you living it for real, you gon' feel this pain. No scripts, no frames, just heart and time. If you listen close, you might change your mind. We don't argue just to win debates. We just shine a light where they hide the grave. It's the Kalaj Dame Podcast, where the real don't gotta broadcast. Every truth gotta pass, every voice gotta lane. It's the Kalaj Dame Podcast. Pull a seat, let the walls crack. If you ever felt unseen, you gon' feel your name. Yeah. From the block to the boardroom, same questions asked. Why we build so fast, we never heal the past. I don't play judge, I don't play your role. I just let you talk while the story unfolds. Bridging gaps, they pretend they there. Men and women trying to meet halfway, no filter. But respect stay intact. If it hit too close,